Hello there, random show back again. Apologies for the delay. Apologies for the delay. As Stingers, as Stinger Goose said, yes, I was at a freak off. As you can see by the shininess of my forehead, I'm currently sweating. I just finished cooming all over an unsuspecting adult female. That's why I was late. Sorry, I was cooming all over and inside a unsuspecting, consenting adult female. Can you be unsuspecting and also consenting? Is that possible? Can you be unaware that you're getting coomed on and still be consenting? Is that actually possible? It probably isn't, is it? You can't get coomed on and not be aware and also give permission. That's not really possible. That's some R. Kelly defense, isn't it? That's some R. Kelly defense. That's some Bill Cosby-esque level of interaction, right? Like, hey, yo, big up everybody in the stream chat. Appreciate you, bro. Yo, by the way, if a story ever comes out about me doing the Leah stuff, which I would never do, but if it did come out, believe it. All right? If a story comes out about me doing the Leah stuff, which I never would, believe it. Oh my god, this guy's going to Thailand and he's believe it. Oh my god, he's going to Honduras and he's believe it. Believe it, mate. Believe it. Because I'm there, man. And then I'm gonna come back on stream. I'm gonna do like a somber stream. Like, I just wanna take some time to reflect on my horniness and just how often I get boners, and the fact that whenever I just see somebody walking down the street with a heartbeat, I just want to jump on them, and I just want to say I'm in therapy for that. And then I'll get a tattoo, right? I'll get a tattoo of like, I don't know, of like a phoenix, right, rising or something, right? Or I get a tattoo of, I don't know, of like a butterfly, right, being reborn again. That'll be like me being reborn in new skin, and I'll suddenly pop out of the family, right, and become like a family man and start doing family vlogs and shit. That's gonna be my arc. That's gonna be my arc. I'm gonna get cancelled for some fuck shit in a third world country. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna apologize. Then I'm gonna have a family, right? And it have to be a black woman too, right? I couldn't go for a white lady. It had to be a black woman. I'll hook up with some black lady. I have a really amazing family, right? I'll be like hashtag black love everywhere. So I'll get that protection on that side, right? I'll get protected on that side from the black people. I'll get protected there. I'll start talking about, you know, civil rights and shit. I might wear like one of those kente hats. And the Lord said, oh, mate, honestly, I've got dreams. I've got aspirations. I've got dreams. I have aspirations. But big up in the stream chat tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Honestly, really do. We've got many things to talk about today. What was I going to say to you, right? Let me just fix it quickly. Bear with me as I fix my screen. Yeah, many things to talk about today. Quick little update for those of you that care regarding my fucking regarding my root canal thing. I've actually got an appointment tomorrow to go get it. No, I've got an assessment, yeah, but I'm going to get an x-ray and shit. And then obviously I'm going to hopefully off the back of that get my root canal appointment confirmed. It's okay to, you know, it's not going to be too long because it's private, so I'm not going to have to wait because I'm paying for it, so I'm not going to not through the NHS. I feel a little bit ashamed and I feel a little bit fucking dumb for crying about the price, because some of you guys have been leaving comments on my previous video about how much you guys in the States pay for root canals, and I was like, wow, like I'm hearing quotes of like $1,000 plus. So I'm paying £300 and I'm crying, but you guys allegedly have to pay like $1,000 for a root canal. Like, God almighty. So yeah, I'm thankful that mine's only, I think, free. I think the person on the phone said it was like 300 to 500 actually. That's what they said. From 300, but it can go up to 5 depending on how severe, but it shouldn't be that bad because I think it's just one tooth. It's like I think it's a molar. It's one of these at the back, at the bottom. So it's just one. That's obviously got the gums are fucked up and shit where they need to obviously, you know, try and save the teeth. So that is the only thing that needs to be done. Everything else should be okay. But rah, man, honestly, I didn't know that. I think that's probably the reason why most people don't bother going to a dentist, isn't it? because of the price. Because obviously the NHS in the UK is amazing, but the NHS dentist thing is fucking crazy. Like the wait times are insane. I think somebody told me the other day that they went to the NHS I think to get wisdom tooth taken out, and they quoted them like 6-month wait time. So for the time they got assessed, it was 6 months up until they could get their fucking operation done to take out that wisdom tooth. So, you know, the NHS is backed up dentist wise, and I think just in general, dentists are super expensive, which is probably why most people around the world don't have great teeth, because it just costs a lot to kind of keep them in prime condition. But I think teeth are like trainers, isn't it? Or like shoes. Don't you think so? I think teeth, although they're really expensive, I think if you actually sort your teeth out, it can make a big difference to your face. Like, it's people that get braces. Like, that's why I want to get Invisalign. Like, people that get Invisalign or get braces, it actually changes the structure of your jaw and your face. Do you know what I mean? It can actually make you have a little bit more of a, you know, a defined jaw. It can change the structure of your face. It can actually change everything about you, that slight change. And obviously, if your teeth are pearly white and are really straight and stuff and look really nice and are well looked after, that could also change how you look. So even though it's really expensive, putting that little bit of effort in really does help. So I'm really happy, man. So no, Hasib, actually, I'm actually happy. Hasib said it might be a turkey thing. No, I'm actually happy that I've got this fucked up teeth thing, because I'm going to start from the beginning. Because I remember when I mentioned it anyway on the stream, I think some people already were telling me don't do it. When I was already mentioning to go get my Turkish teeth, I was mentioning to go Turkey and go get fucking, you know, what you call it, veneers get put in. People in the stream chat were telling me not to get it anyway. So I'm happy I didn't, because what I'm going to do now, because I've got this fucking crazy root canal, I'm going to actually use this as a chance to start from the bottom and actually go from getting a root canal sorted out, getting a cleanse, getting Invisalign put in, and then really starting to look after my teeth and, you know, take care of it in a really sustained way. And then later on down the line, if I want to get them cleaned up, if I want to get some replaced and stuff, fair enough. But I need to start from the base of just kind of improving the teeth that I already have, and then kind of going from there. But the Invisalign thing, I'm really considering doing it after I get everything done, to kind of get my teeth all nice and straight. And plus I've got a little chipped one at the bottom anyway. One of my bottom teeth is chipped from, like, you know, playing football things. So I'd love to get that fucking fixed. But yeah, it's really unfortunate how expensive it is to fix your teeth, because it means a lot of people out there are just walking around with really fucked up teeth. Like one person has got terrible teeth, actually. Do you guys know Smack from Back on Fig? Are you guys aware of Smack is from Back on Fig? I don't know if the person's got a picture of it here. Smack Back on Fig teeth. Let's see if someone got a picture of it. But Smack from Back on Fig has horrendous teeth. Like, honestly, his teeth look disgusting. Let's see if I got it. Has anyone got a picture of it? Let me see if I can see it on images. Somebody may have a random picture of Smack's teeth, but Smack's teeth are fucking awful. Okay, no one's got a picture of it, but essentially he smokes and drinks a lot and whatever. So, you know, they just look fucking horrendous, and they're covered in plaque and stuff. And, you know, most people don't really brush their teeth, or like, I brush my teeth quite often, but I don't even floss. So I'm sure the non-flossing, it probably was the reason why I ended up having to have a root canal in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So I need to even improve that side of things and kind of really take care of my teeth going forward, because, hey, I don't want to get in a situation again. But anyway, enough about my teeth hygiene. Let's move on. Thank you so much for tuning into the random show. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to have your company. And I really do hope, you guys are doing well. I really do hope you're doing well, wherever you may be. I hope you're doing splendid. We've got a few things to jump on and talk about today. First thing I want to say, I don't know if you guys have seen the beef happening at the moment with Meek Mill and his former friend called Dean, who's part of the Dream Chasers. It's fucking wild, right? He's exposing mad shit about Meek Mill. Obviously it's a bit lame because he's a former friend and now he's going out there and exposing him. But you know what's really crazy about this exposure that I just found out, which I didn't know? Allegedly, do you guys know what the issue was behind Meek Mill and Drake falling out? Do you know what the issue was? So allegedly, it wasn't nothing to do with that fucking ghostwriting thing. What it was to do with was that guy Dean is alleging Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj went to some shopping center somewhere, to some designer store, right? Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj went to a shopping center somewhere to go buy some designer clothes. They're buying their designer clothes. Nicki's picking out her stuff. Meek is picking out his stuff. When they go to pay, Nicki pays for hers. Then Meek goes to pay for his, and he realizes he didn't bring enough cash with him. And he always likes paying for stuff with cash. He doesn't like paying with card. So he asks Nikki, "Hey, can you give me I don't know, a 5 rack or something, right? Like, let's say he's got 60,000 and he needed 65. He said, "Hey, can you give me 5, and then I'll give it back to you when we go back home." And then she kind of like kissed her teeth and was like, "Man, Drake would never ask me something like that, or something like that." She said something like that, like cutting. Drake would never say something like that. And obviously Meek went crazy, and then started, firing off tweets about fucking Drake on Twitter. Honestly, some women are evil, innit? Nicki Minaj threw out some minor little jab, right? And that is what fucking ended their friendship, Meek Mill and Drake, for a little period. That little jab. Yo, women can start, that phrase about women can start wars? That's true. Women can legitimately start wars. Women are capable of starting full-blown fucking wars, mate. I swear to God. That's what that guy is a legend. He's a legend that Meek Mill and Drake fell out because Nicki said, "Yo, Drake would never ask me for money." Which is true though, right? Drake would never probably ask her for money, but it's like, fucking no, Nicki, man. Give your guy a break. He's got $65,000 in cash. He needed 5K. That doesn't mean he's broke. You know what I mean? Like, he's got $65,000 in cash. Sorry, 60 in cash. He needed 5. Like, oh, God almighty, mate. Drake would never ask me for 5 grand. I heard that story and I was like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God. I feel so bad for Meek, honestly. Bless Meek Mill. But yeah. Unfortunately, that whole story as well is just another evidence to me of how important it is if you have an entourage. Like, I've never really understood rap entourages where the main guy wants to be the main guy only, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like Meek Mill and his Dream Chasers crew, he didn't really hook them up well. He didn't really sort them out with like opportunities and money and shit, And I think essentially that built up a lot of resentment, and now they've got to a point where they're beefing. But I never understood why, if you're like a rapper and you get the chance to make it, and then you get a chance to bring your friends on the road, why don't you also make them feel like they are part of the fucking whole operation? Why don't you put them on salary? Why don't you give them a record contract? Why don't you, give them money to start a business or something? Why don't you make sure that they're looked after in some way? Because it's no fun doing it on your own. Like, I couldn't imagine being a rapper or being an artist touring around the world and just doing it by yourself. It's like a DJ's life, right? That's why some DJs usually have a lot of like mental issues, because you're basically on your own for the most of it. You play on your own. You go back to the hotel by yourself. Your friends can't really come with you because, you're touring around the world on a weekday partying and stuff. I think if you're a rapper and you got a chance to actually have a whole group of people, a whole little gang of people around you, I think I would want to make sure that they always come around and they're always happy by just making sure I sort them out, Like, I don't really see the issue of why you wouldn't, but I think for some reason Meek didn't do it. He wanted to be the main bitch in the group, and obviously that caused some issues, and now they're beefing on the fucking timeline, which is fucking wild to see. But yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Let's move on. Let's talk about the topics at hand. First topic to talk about, Ian Schwartzman. I'm sure most of you don't know who this guy is, but this guy on the screen is Joe Budden's manager, and it's fucking hilarious, all the blowback he's been getting on social. So if you know already, Shannon Sharpe had an amazing interview with Katt Williams. Last time I checked, I think the interview was at 25 million views or something. It just came out the other day. Amazing interview where Katt Williams goes scorched earth, destroys fucking everybody, and really funny, really witty, really eye-opening, and just an amazing kind of conversation starter around loads of topics concerning the entertainment industry, like gatekeeping, like hating, like rituals, like paying your dues, like hustle, whatever it may be, right? Everybody got it, from Joe Rogan to Cedric the Entertainer to fucking P. Diddy to TJ Jakes. It was a fucking blast to fucking listen to, right? Amazing interview. For some reason, Ian Schwartzman, Joe Budden's manager, decided to come out on Twitter and give Shannon Sharpe some advice, even though this interview dropped a couple days ago and it's on like, yeah, okay, Austin Casey said it's on 32 million views. Ian Schwartzman decided to give Shannon Sharpe some unsolicited advice about how he should approach his content. Look at what this guy says. The Katt and Shannon interview was great. 25 million views in 48 hours is even greater. But can you imagine how much bigger of a play it would have been if this was behind a subscription platform that Shannon had set up under his control? So essentially, Shannon Sharpe is just saying, "Hey, why doesn't Shannon Sharpe put his content behind a paywall, like I advise my client to do?" Because that's one of the things that has annoyed me about this new version of Joe Budden. I stopped listening to Joe Budden podcast when Rory and Mo left. I was one of the idiots. I was one of the naive people that developed a bit of a parasocial relationship with Joe Budden and that whole crew of people. I thought they were actually friends. And then when that kind of broke down the way that it did, and Joe kind of dismissed their contribution and acted as if they weren't really a part of the crew, and they weren't really a part of the fucking making of the podcast, and it ended really sour, it kind of made me not listen. And to be honest, I don't really listen to New Rory or More that much either. I've kind of stopped listening to both camps because it's just, you know, it was just annoying to kind of go through that whole thing and see these guys end their really successful podcast off the back of just not being able to sit down at the table and talk as friends. But one of the things that's annoyed me about this new version of Joe is that since he's had some rough runnings with cancellations and stuff, he started to now put his content behind a paywall as a way to kind of like spite as a way to kind of spite his detractors, and to also, it feels like it's like a test to see like who his true fans are. So if you're a true fan of Joe's, you won't care about paying $5, $10, $20 for some content that should be on YouTube, really. So most of his content, especially if it's controversial, especially if something people are kind of like pushing him to say, he'll put it behind a paywall. I think the Diddy conversation was behind a paywall. I think the replies to Drake, when him and Drake are going through it back and forth, was behind a paywall. And just recently, the interview with Dr. Umar, that should have been a, you know, loads of millions of views interview, was put behind a paywall. And it's fucking annoying. I think all that kind of practice is super short-sighted. It's super fucking what's that term that Brennan used to use? It's super Scrooge McDucky to put all your big content that you know people are going to watch always behind a paywall and never ever release it to the public. It's fucking annoying. Anyway, they now think that this is the way to go, you know, in the long term. The issue with that is that obviously all your metrics aren't there publicly. Part of the reason why people put these big interviews, I'd imagine, on platforms like YouTube is because the metrics are readily available. You can clearly see the views, the likes. I think last time I checked, the likes were like 1 million or something. Austin Casey said, what you call it, the video at the moment is now 32 million. So clearly that stuff helps you in the long term, because what it ends up doing is that if brands come in, they can see what your numbers are and they can give you a contract, you know, accordingly. So don't be surprised in a few months, maybe a year, if you hear Shannon Sharpe signed a massive deal with like ESPN or some new streaming company for like hundreds of millions of dollars. It's perfectly possible, especially because the other day when I was streaming, I just recently subscribed to Shannon Sharpe's show that he does with the Ocho, the guy, the footballer as well. I think he used to be a running back, and it's called a Nightcap. He does like a stream. I think it's like a daily stream during a week about sports and shit, and I randomly saw it on my homepage and it was live, and at the time I saw when it was live, it was on like 46,000 live viewers, which is a lot for a YouTube live stream. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of live streams, but live streams on YouTube don't get like hundreds and thousands of live viewers. Some do, but that was on 46,000 live viewers. So clearly Shannon Sharpe knows what he's doing. Clearly he has an audience. Clearly people like what he says. Clearly he's doing something right. So to be giving that guy a fucking, oh, he's a wide receiver. Sorry, my bad. Gwyn Rogier. He's a wide receiver. He said, my bad. I didn't know. I don't know about anything about football. Please forgive me. For them, those guys to fucking chastise or to give Shannon any kind of fucking advice, it's so fucking annoying. It really fucking is. And just goes to show how short-sighted they are. And also goes to show these guys really walk into rooms thinking they're the smartest people in the room. That kind of hubris and that kind of confidence is fucking insane, especially when you think of all the times that Joe has got in his own way and fucked up deals himself. And now he's at the point where he's got already a kind of baked in, you know, fan base. He's got his Joe Vengers out there who are going to support him regardless. So if anything, he's making it in spite of his mistakes, not because he's some sort of great genius, in my personal opinion. Anyway, everybody rightfully chastises Ian about the fucking comment that he made. They destroyed him, obviously, in the chat. In the replies, one person said here, his audience is not as niche and invested like Joe's fans. Shannon did it with the right way. The subscription thing is meant for super fans. That KATT interview was for the people and meant to reach the wider audience. Exactly. Another person says, of course you would immediately go to gouging fans for money. Exactly. Another one says, what makes sense for the whole thing to be behind a paywall? Maybe 2/3 of it and the rest are behind a Patreon, but it would have leaked anyway. He got the response he wanted and he's monetizing like crazy on YouTube. It's like people forget, monetization on YouTube YouTube, especially at that kind of level of views, is pretty good. I'd imagine a 32 million view video, what's that gonna go with if your CPM is decent? That might be like 100,000. That might be in 100,000s of that one video. So you're gonna eat pretty well off that. Another one says, wouldn't have got 25 million views if you put it behind, if you would have made more money on it. Another one says, thank God Shannon Sharpe is not managed by you. Exactly. Another one says, yeah, he would have went viral if that was the case. Another one, if I feel like you're pushing a narrative because this is what you all have done, but I think you and Joe overestimate how little podcast type content matters to the average Joe. Exactly. Only dedicated fans are gonna turn gossip, barbershop talk, barber banter from public figures into a monthly bill. Exactly. That's the thing people don't assume. That is a real point. Like, I think they over assume how big they are, but again, this is Joe Budden. He honestly does think he's as big as Joe Rogan. Another one says, you dramatically decrease the network effect putting this behind a paywall. Part of the reason why this is as big as it is it's gone as far as it has because it was released publicly and seeped into the meme culture and internet within the first 48 hours. So clearly everybody's kind of roasting and torching this guy's ass, right? Now, when you get roasted and torched, what happens? Do you come back and apologize? Do you hold your hands up and say, hey, maybe I got it wrong? Do you just ignore it and keep it moving and kind of learn your lesson privately? Or do you do what most of these fucking donuts do and kind of seek sympathy? Of course you seek sympathy. Look at what he tweeted the next day. Went to a funeral today for a very close friend of mine that recently passed away, and it checked me right back into my healthy emotions and reminded me what's important in life. So you came out there and said some hot shit, right? You came out there and said a very controversial statement about a very beloved and very well-received interview from a very beloved and adored fucking individual in Katt Williams and obviously Shannon Sharpe. You said something very controversial. It was a hot take. People flamed you for it. And then the next day, you start fucking seeking sympathy and saying, oh, kind of using your dead friend's funeral as a fucking human shield. How pathetic you have to be as an adult to do that. It's not that big of a deal. Sometimes in the business of hot takes, in my opinion, in the business of hot takes, sometimes you get it wrong. In the business of hot takes, sometimes you get it wrong. You fuck up. It is what it is. That's the nature of the game. If you want to throw out a hot take, if you want to be a contrarian, you're going to sometimes get it wrong. What you can't do is this. You're allowed to just ignore it and pretend it didn't happen. You're allowed to double down or triple down. But what you can't do is this. You can't start, as Coyle is saying, virtue signaling. You can't use your friend's death as a fucking shield. That is beyond disgusting, to be completely honest. That is beyond reprehensible to do such a thing, because really and truly, it's not that big of a deal. You threw out an opinion, you threw out a comment, an observation about something. People didn't receive it the way you wanted to receive it. You can explain if you want, but for the most part, you don't need to use your dead friend's fucking funeral as a way to kind of protect yourself. Let's see some of the replies, what people said to him. Crazy how shit like that can be what makes you feel human. Yeah, all right. Okay, so people are being nice in the comments, but I wouldn't have been nice. I would have just said, imagine using your friend's death as a fucking human shield. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, moving on from that one, you know what's really funny about this whole escapade? So out of the blue, there was a Joe Budden podcast Discord chat, which I actually need to do. I need to do a fucking Discord chat, and we'll probably do one on here on the live stream. But there was a Joe Budden fucking Discord chat, and and for some reason Ian got on it, and Danny from the stuff reported on it, and Ian got on the Discord chat. And you know what's really funny? This Discord chat with Ian that Joe Budden jumped on is proof to me why Joe Budden is a terrible friend and why everybody around him he honestly ends up burning. Ian Schwartzman is his manager, right? That's his fucking manager. He's been his manager for a fucking very, very, very long time. They're very close. They got a very close friendship and business relationship. He says this crazy shit. Joe Budden on his own podcast kind of starts hating on Shannon himself, right? He hates himself. He's like saying, oh, his interview with Katt Williams didn't do well because of COVID. And he says something like, he says some weird shit like, oh, he felt like Katt Williams was like inspired by him or something, like he was channeling his spirit or some nonsense like that. But there was a lot of like slick talk from Joe on the Joe Budden podcast that made it sound like he thought Shannon could have done a better job because he thinks of himself as a better interviewer. Cool. So he kind of echoed Ian's thoughts in another way. Ian goes on the Discord to defend himself. Then Joe jumps on the Discord and guess what he does? Bitch, you guessed it. He kicks Ian's back end too. Ian is the one out here fighting for Joe, right? and Joe jumps on this Discord and kicks Ian's back in because the whole internet's kicking his back in. This goes to show that Joe Budden is no one's friend. His only friend is him.
For his controversial Joe Budden goes off on Ian, his manager, for his controversial comments about the Shannon Sharpe and KATT Williams interview.
It wasn't meant to take away, it was to add on to a thought process that he may not be thinking at the moment. And it was to empower him, not take away from him.
That's the problem. That right there is the problem. Who says that he needs your advice?
I didn't ask Joe, I didn't expect him to take my advice. In fact, my comment of putting it out publicly.
Nobody, while this black man is on top of the world, needs to read the advice.
Joe, you came out and said,
Joe,
hold on.
No.
Joe turning into a black and white thing is fucking disgusting. Your manager's white, and now you're using his whiteness against him because everybody on the internet is kicking his back in. Why don't you get a black manager then? Why do you hire, like, honestly, what a disgusting individual, man.
Let them go. Let them talk.
Yeah. What I said.
Joe, you specifically made a comment on maybe it was Kevin Hart or Shannon Sharpe's interviewing ability while he was on top, but that's directly taking away from the interview.
Exactly.
What I said was to empower the moment and make it more powerful of a takeaway.
No. And that's what I'm saying to you.
Joe is the king of that, though, gaslighting. You can repeat back what he said and use it as a point, and then he'll just deny it and say, nah, it didn't happen. You can repeat back exactly what he said, and then he just says, nah, it didn't. No, but it did. No, it didn't, but it did.
What are you saying?
The moment was empowered with or without what you had to say.
That doesn't
That's
take
what
away
people
from...
are saying. If it's the most viewed interview on YouTube, two black people just talking some shit, what makes you think that needs even more empowering? One. Two, I was very specific with what I said, which was, what do y'all say to the people that say Shannon's interview skills are A, B, and C? That was my question to the panel. But what I
when you're pussy to say what you actually think, and that's the thing that's funny. The KATT Williams interview, he was going after everybody, Diddy, TD Jakes. If anything, that's what made the interview way more, compelling to watch, because you saw a guy who's untethered, who has no filter, who's clearly not, under the thumb of the man, is clearly not kissing people's feet or kissing the hand of somebody to get in the industry. You clearly saw what it means to have like fuck you money and say fuck you. So he does it, and he does it very, in a very comedic way. If anything, that's the reason why it was more entertaining, because he was unfiltered. We saw how Joe Budden acted when the fucking Cassie and Diddy news first came to light. He didn't want to speak about it. He was acting as if like he was also involved in these freak-offs and he didn't want to bring attention to himself. He was so afraid, even to this day, to talk about Diddy. To this day, fair enough. Maybe he has a point, maybe he has a point to be scared of talking about Diddy, because Diddy legitimately, is a crazy dude. We're hearing stories about him allegedly chasing fucking Suge Knight down the street. Did you hear that story? Allegedly, it wasn't Suge Knight that was chasing Diddy around LA. It was fucking Diddy that was chasing Suge Knight around LA. Allegedly. We're hearing stories about him blowing up fucking Kid Cudi's car. We're hearing stories about him and his goons allegedly dangling Wale from his feet from a fucking balcony somewhere. Like, the guy's fucking crazy, but still, this is some sicko psycho shit where he's been accused of rape and all such and all other nonsense pertaining to sexual harassment. And Joe was scared to speak about it. He was fucking scared. He didn't want to mention it. Guess what happened? Of course he got flamed for it. So for him to sit there and talk about what suggestions and interview titles, like, bro, you're not even honest on your own platform. You can't even be untethered and unfiltered on your own platform because you're worried about the skeletons that it might kind of draw up from your own past. Get out of here.
Said as far as the interview was, wow, amazing to see two black people break all these records. It's inspiring for me. And as a content creator, I'm home saying, yeah, let's kick some ass. I have not had this talk with
Pause.
Ian because I don't give a about this. This ain't that big of a deal to me. But if Ian were to wake up on his personal Twitter and say something that were to really affect things, we would talk about it.
But that's exactly right. I would expect you to, but I don't feel like what I said was cause for that type of conversation to ever come up, because I have enough discretion to know when I'm saying something that's offensive in a way that would have an effect big enough to bring up a conversation like that.
Yo, this is
Can we have
not.
it both
I
ways?
hate that we took this to a black and white thing.
Yo, imagine your client, imagine your manager, imagine your business partner starts chastising you for the same opinions he's espoused on his own podcast. If I'm Ian, I'm fucking hot right now. Joe basically said the same thing that he said, but he implied it, and he said it vaguely on a fucking podcast, right? Listen to the podcast now. I think it's 4 hours long or something. Most of it just includes Jay basically sneak hating and pocket watching and shit about the whole Shannon Sharpe Katt Williams thing. Yes, he was congratulatory, but he was really hating in a way. If anything, Ian just basically jumped off of that and used that fucking template as something to kind of base his tweet off. If I'm being honest, I think that obviously the pod was recorded, I think, before the tweet.
Thing. Because what this boils down to for me is just letting people have their moments. That's not a white thing, a black thing. If a white person,
isn't that a weird comment to make though? It's very, I don't know, is that a very woke thing? Is that a very American thing? Let people have their moment. What does that mean? That means people are incapable of being criticized because they've done something great. I think it's fairly okay to somebody to say, you're all right to criticize somebody, even if they do a great thing, but then you should also be okay when people blast you back for it. That's the issue I have with people like him. He wants to have his hot takes. He wants to be a contrarian. But then when somebody pushes back against his hot take and his contrarian views, he suddenly starts crying about it. It's like, bro, if you want to say what you want to say what you want to say. But you also have to be open and willing and open and ready and aware that some people might push back and say what they want to say back to you. It just is what it is.
if Brad Pitt, if Jerry Seinfeld sat down and did an interview and it did 100 million views, I would want that person to have his moment uninterrupted with what the fans think of how he could have gone, what he should have did, how it would have been more successful. If mind your business. It's the same thing I'd be.
No, it's the internet. As soon as it's on the internet, it's everybody's business. Unfortunately, if you put out content on the internet, everybody has an ability to have an opinion about it because it's available on the fucking internet. This idea that you can't speak about certain things, it's like, what are these fucking codes of conduct? What the fuck? It's the internet. There is no code of conduct. The only code of conduct that exists is that what can you get away with until you get fucking banned? That's the only code of conduct that exists. There is no code of conduct on the internet. It's the fucking internet. It's fucking lawless. There's videos of fucking dead babies on Twitter and shit. Like, it is what it is. If you don't want to see that sort of shit, you don't want to see it. But come on, man. This whole fucking behavioral standards on the internet is fucking insane, especially coming from someone like him. Imagine being lectured on your behavior on the internet by bloody Joe Budden. Get lost.
Saying the flip. So when you not letting people have their moment, it's looked at very differently than Sassy Q from Missouri who's tweeting about the interview. It's not the same.
I guess I don't look at it like, oh, when I say something, it's like it's important. I just think of it as like, oh, this is an interesting thought. And everyone kept it doesn't matter. Everyone twisted my words, I said paywall when I said nothing of the sort. I said subscription. It was, like I said, it was...
Okay, Mr. White Man. Okay, Mr. Ian Schwartzman. What does fucking subscription mean then if it's not a paywall? This is how you know this is how you know him and Joe Budden are friends, because he's doing the whole semantic thing that Joe is fucking famous for. Joe is known as semantics man, and Ian's doing the same thing. I didn't say paywall. This is what you said. The Katt Williams and Shannon Sharpe interview was great. 25 million views in 48 hours is even greater. But can you imagine how big it would have been if it was behind a subscription platform? Behind a subscription platform is the same thing as saying behind a paywall, because bitch, you guessed it, a paywall is a subscription platform. Don't you hate it when people insult your intelligence by making it seem as if like what you read wasn't what they said? It's like, bruh, what the fuck is this, bro? How are you running propaganda for yourself? How are you trying to do that? How are you trying to run prop for yourself? Like, this is not fucking, you're not that clever. You cannot mind control us with a tweet. We can read the tweet ourselves. Fucking hell.
Me thinking of how to empower him even further. I wasn't trying to take away from his moment. Everyone's deducting from my first 2 lines of what I tweeted, which was, holy shit, this is amazing. Holy shit, the interview was great. Look at the amount of views. We haven't seen this before.
That's right.
Anyway, big up Danny from the Stop. Check out Danny from the Stop's channel. He's a really good follower as well. I'm a big fan of his. Can we say this first? Ian Schwartzman's hot take isn't bad. This is a decent take. There's nothing wrong with this. People talk about this all the time when it comes to being a creator. When it comes to being a creator, people speak about this all the time. Hey, what would happen if creators were empowered and if they had more of a lion's share of the fucking revenue that comes through, if they had more of a handle on the analytics so they could use that to fucking negotiate better deals for themselves? What if they cut out a middleman? What if they cut out the third man? Big up NJ Ranger. Appreciate you, brother.
Almost choked on my bagel bite, you funny MF. Go in, 100.
Big up NJ Ranger. Yeah, bagels are goated, man. Bagels are fucking goated. I've switched from, I used to be a really big sliced bread man. I used to be big on the sliced bread. But in the last couple of years, I've switched primarily to fucking bagels. And you know the bagels I get the thin ones. I think I've got a packet over there I could show you actually. I've got a pair of I've got some thin bagels. Let's do some bagel chat. Let's do a bit of bagel chat. If we're talking about bagels, 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 this is what I got. These to me are goated. The thin ones. These thin bagels are the best, right? They're kind of like half the size. These are the ones I prefer. They taste so nice. They're not as fucking dense as the other ones. These bagels are fucking goated. 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 You put some fucking scrambled eggs on top of these with a little bit of fucking, you know, with a little bit of butter or olive oil. What Space Guy said, that's not a bagel. Really? That's not a bagel. What is it then? If that's not a bagel, what is it? Is it like a burger bun with a hole? What are you saying, Space Guy? Is this a burger bun with a hole? Is that what you're trying to say? Is this a burger bun with a hole? It's a ham bagel. It's a ham bagel. That is not a bagel. Okay, fair play, fair play. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm talking to mostly Americans, innit? You guys have the fat bagels. You guys have the bagels that fucking sit in your fucking liver. Yeah, I don't need that shit. I don't need pounded yam bagels. That's what you guys have. You guys have pounded yam bagels, man. Those things are fucking dense. I need just a little light thing. I mean, I'm European, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm European, I'm suave, I'm sophisticated. I eat my bagel like that, you know? I'm gonna start bagel share. That's a new thing. We'll start bagel shaming. Anyways. So big up NJ Ranger, appreciate you, brother. So what was I saying here before I got derailed by my fucking bagel chat? See, don't mention fucking food to me right now, man. I'm fucking fasting as well. Please stop it, okay? I'm trying to be skinny and fit back into my Rick Owens and my Balenciagas, and here you guys are talking about fucking bagels. Can you stop, please? Please, I beg of you. I'm trying to be skinny, okay? I want to be size 0 this year. Please stop. Size 0, you know what I mean? And I'm resisting the urge to do fucking Brendan Schaub'S Zempic because he looks like a fucking ghost. I don't want to be like that, you know what I mean? I want to do it the right way. I want to work out and I run, you know what I mean? I'm lifting weights and shit. I don't want to do it the Brendan way, so please. Anyways, moving on. So Yeah, we've already finished the fucking Joe Budden thing. Who gives a shit? Let's move on. Next thing to quickly talk about. Have you guys seen this? Allegedly, HESH and HOUSEPHONE are fighting. I don't know if you guys know about these guys and who they are, but HESH used to be a part of No Jumper, kinda. I think he was mostly HOUSEPHONE's friend, then kind of Adam's friend, but he's just like a guy that's around. I don't really know what he does. Maybe he's a drug dealer, maybe he's a gang member, who the fuck knows. But you know, he's into fashion and stuff, so he's friends with HOUSEPHONE also. But I guess they are beefing. There's some sort of beef between HESH and HOUSEPHONE. I don't know why. So this is it. This is courtesy of the No Jumper subreddit. HESH v HOUSEPHONE. It says HESH on the tweet says, "Cause I asked for fades and niggas don't want to do nothing, so it's no point." So in the screenshot, you've got a bubble here that says LMFAO, bro, I'll beat the shit out of ya. Another one says, "Do it!" Exclamation mark to incentivize. It says, "Say I won't. I'm back home." Where? I'm at the airport. I'm back home. I'm at the airport. Isn't that a bit of a misdirection? I'm back home. I'm at the airport. I'm at the airport. I'm back home. It's like, huh? Drop the pin. Coming back home. So where are you then? Are you home or at the airport? I promise I'll link with you anywhere. I promise. Whenever you want, bro. Isn't this kind of homoerotic? There's a current theme going on. There's a current theme going on social media, which I really do like. A lot of the Twitter feminists make this point, and I'm fucking starting to agree. Some Twitter feminist girls on Twitter have said straight men are really homoerotic. And I think this is true, because if you read this in another way, this could sound like a hookup. No? If you read this in a softer tone, this sounds like a sneaky link. I'll beat the shit out of you. Do it. I'm back home. Where? I'm at the airport. Drop a pin. You know? This kind of sounds a little bit like they want to fuck. I'm starting to believe these girls that say straight men are super homoerotic. Most straight men are kind of homophobic, but they're actually really homoerotic between each other, because this is like wild. No? I promise I'll link you anywhere. I promise. Whenever you want it, bro, I'll beat the dog shit out of you. Like, that could be easily replaced with I'll fuck the dog shit out of you, you know? I don't know. Maybe my mind is going too weirdly and I'm thirsting and stuff and I'm whatever. Who knows? Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but this sounds like a sneaky link. Anyway, you're weird, bro. You want to fight? Let's see the next screenshot. Another one says, "Nigga, you got my number, my address, and you know where I'm at every Thursday at 6 p.m. sharp. If that's how you feel, bro, over nothing, then do it, nigga. Whenever you think you do it, whenever you think you did to whoever. Whatever you think you did to whoever ain't me, nigga. You never seen nobody beat my ass on my mama." I find it funny that HOUSEPHONE talks like this when he can barely walk. He's got something wrong with his legs. I'm not too sure if it's like something to do with fucking diabetes, or if he's got high blood pressure, or if he's just fat, but he can't really walk. He's got kind of knock knees. He kind of walks like Zion Williams, right? He's got that kind of knock knee type of thing going on. So I'm surprised he talks with such bass in his voice, because if you can't walk and I'm fighting you, the first thing I'm going to do is calf kick you. The first thing, calf kick you to fucking death. You know what I mean? Calf kick, T kick, like I'm just going to keep push, like I'm just going to make sure that I overextend those legs, you know? Definitely, like that's it. What else am I going to do? Unless you can get a fucking Hail Mary on me, like you're done for. If I just kick exactly the little fucking the John Jones fucking knee kick, hyperextend that fucking knee the wrong way, bend it the wrong way, then boom, it's over for you, bro. I'm surprised HOUSEPHONE talks this way. He's very spicy, but I would actually like to see HOUSEPHONE fight. I'd like to see HESH fight, because I'm sure this is over nothing. This is probably over some Supreme box logo. Somebody didn't send them some fucking Fug Club jeans or some fucking Half Evil t-shirt. This is what this is definitely about. It's not over anything worthwhile. And again, this is another example of like trying to understand why like American black dudes are so violent. Like, why do they always want to fight? Everything has to result in a physical altercation, which is strange because you guys have guns. So you'd think you guys would be way more careful about who to fight, because if somebody's losing, they're just going to blow your face off. Like, Why would you fight anybody just off the top for the sake of it, over nothing? When there's always a danger that this person could just blow your fucking arm off your shoulders. Like, why would you do that? It's so bizarre. I don't get this need to always fight when A, you can't fight, and B, there's obviously the danger that either that guy has a gun or somebody in his entourage has a gun and they're willing to fucking prove their loyalty by blowing your fucking back out. No pause needed. I'm not sure why people do that. Honestly, it's so odd. It's so odd. Yeah, Stinger Goose says BGO is back posting on the Reddit. Yeah, I saw, but yeah, there's nothing really to get involved there. It's all conjecture. Until there's something really juicy, I'm not going to get into that, to be honest. And I need something concrete, something more substantial. He's thrown around some good catnip, you know, some really interesting insights here and there, but I need something more. I need something more juicy. You know, I need something to really sink my teeth into before I get into that sort of stuff. At the moment, it's a bit like, you know, I get it as well. You know what? I have sympathy for him because I've been mistreated in previous jobs before, and I've been, you know, I've had my payments withheld, and until it's happened to you, you don't know how it's going to affect you. Sorry, and you can't judge somebody because it does something to your brain. When you've worked, honestly, I don't know what it is about jobs and money, but there's something about exchanging your time for money, and then you don't get that money. It can really break you. You can really lose the plot. Like, you can go mad. So I'm not surprised that BGL's on like a non-stop fucking torching of Brendan. He's not really letting up. He's going after him like at every fucking turn. I'm not surprised, but I need something more. Just for me personally, I need something more because this feels like he's just being personal, which is okay, but I need something meatier to bite my teeth into. At the moment, it's not there. But anyway, let's go to the next picture here. Bear with me a second. Another one says, how I'm not tough, but was the first nigger you called when a nigger beat you up for 10K chain outside your house. That's crazy. Imagine getting beaten up. Is there anything, the only thing worse than getting beaten up in front of your girlfriend or your wife is getting beaten up outside your house, isn't it? Especially when your chain, imagine somebody taking your chain outside your house and they beat you up. The only thing worse than that is getting beat up in front of your mum and getting beaten up in front of a girlfriend or your wife. That's the only thing I can think of. Or just a random group of, imagine you end up in a fight and you end up fighting some random guy in front of a bus stop full of like college girls or something. Like, they just happen to be there and you just end up getting fucking ragdolled, mollywopped in front of them. That's obviously embarrassing. That could be maybe less so because you don't know them. You could just quickly run away, but that shame will live with you forever. The only other thing I can think of is this, getting beaten up in front of your house. That's the kind of thing that would make me want to go pull out the blicky and, you know, put somebody on a fucking t-shirt and get somebody to have a fucking GoFundMe. Honestly, you try and touch me outside of my house, especially if I'm American, I'm going to put you in a fucking t-shirt. You know what I mean? People are going to be releasing doves after your name, bro. I swear to God, your mom's going to be crying. Like, don't beat me up in front of my house. I beg you. I beg. Because I'll crash out. I'll fucking crash out. But yeah, Hesh and HOUSEPHONE are fighting. Personally, I want to see the fight. I want to see the crash out. HOUSEPHONE talks a bit too spicy for the way he's built and for the lack of motor skills that he has. So I'm willing and I'm ready to see him fight. This Hesh guy talks very spicy too. He's always been on some sort of smoke, but we never see him fighting. I haven't really seen, the only video I've seen him fighting is when he beat up that guy in Yuri's house, isn't it? Some random white dude started saying nigger and Hesh decided to be the nigger police and started beating him up. Apart from that, I haven't really seen him fight anybody. So I'm willing, I'm here and open. I'm ready to see it. I'll put $5 or $10 behind betting on somebody. I'm on it. I'll pay for the pay-per-view. I'll definitely watch it. If Hesh and HOUSEPHONE have a fight, I'm definitely fucking watching that without a shadow of a doubt. Moving on. When do we think Brendan Schaub will get back into fish and copy Joe Rogan? Remember when Brendan was into fish and he had the fucking tank in his house and shit and he was speaking about Rick Ross and stuff, DMing him about his fish tanks? When do we think Brendan's going to get back into fish or start fishing like this, like Rogan is? When do we think that's going to happen? Because we know it's going to happen. We know Brendan's gonna find a way to fucking latch onto this. We know Brendan's gonna be doing what Joe is doing in this picture, where he's going and doing like, I think this is called like, is this called like deep sea fishing? I don't know what the fucking term is called, but you go out and into the fucking, you know, into the fucking ocean and you do some fucking heavy duty fishing. You have the fucking strap around your waist. You anchor yourself to the fucking boat and you try and pull in some big fucking bad boys of fishes. Sometimes you catch and release. Sometimes you bring them on board and you bash their head in with a hammer like fucking Chin, and you try and fillet it and make fucking nuggets, right? Sometimes you do that with a blunt knife, or sometimes you catch and release. When do we think Brendan will start getting into fish again? When do we think he will start doing this again? Because it's on the books, it's on the cards. We know it is. Chin and Brendan catch and cook. Exactly, young old Babs. Imagine seeing Brendan and Chin on that little boat in the big go. Chin with these fucking horrible conversation starters and stuff. Oh, that would be a fucking blast to see them both out there on camping and shit. That would be fucking hilarious. NJ Ranger, the fish is as big as Joe. Yeah, exactly. The fish is fucking huge. Look how short fucking Joe's shorts are. God damn, Joe. Joe's letting it all hang out, innit, right? Those shorts are tiny. The caption reads, I had a great time and caught some awesome barracuda at the Salt Shark Bevy in British Virgin Islands. Thank you to Chad and Jamie, two awesome guys, incredibly knowledgeable about those waters and the fish that live in them. If you're ever down there on vacation and you want to have some good fishing, I can't recommend them enough. Wow. He gave them a big shout out, even tagged them as well. That's the thing with Joe. He's very good at that. He's very open with tagging people and stuff and blasting them out. That's going to get him a lot of business. So big up Joe for like giving these guys a lot of business for their fishing business and shit. This is pretty cool. So here he is pulling in some fish, right? That's obviously a body full of violence, right? Look at Joe's little feet, right? His little size 6 feet. Look at USA. Joe for sure. I'm sure of this. I remember there was this not rumor. Somebody told me this guy that used to own a sneaker store in London called Slamming Kicks, Magdi, right? I knew him from back in the day, so big up Magdi wherever he is. It was a consignment store, and I remember he said one day he sold Kanye some shoes back in the day when he used to wear like Jordan retros. I think he sold him a pair of Jordan 3s, and if you know anything about Jordan 3s, you know that they're really clunky. They're really big square blocks of shoes. Allegedly, Kanye wanted a pair of them. Obviously, Magdi works in a shoe shop. If you've ever worked in a shoe shop, you would know that you can instantly tell what somebody's shoe size is once you've worked in a shoe shop for long enough. You can just tell by looking at their feet. So Magdi kind of guessed, oh, you're like a US 8. And Kanye flipped. He was like, nah, I'm not a US 8, I'm a US 11 or something. Like, he flipped, he got really angry. And Magdi was like, no, you're US 8. And he said, no, I'm a US 11. And then basically Kanye wouldn't refuse to wear the US 8 and told Magdi to give him the US 11. And he bought the US 11. And then I noticed in pictures, like, Rob, he wears really big shoes. So you can tell, if you look back at old pictures of Kanye when he used to wear Jordans, look at the pictures, you'll see, especially when he's walking, his shoes kind of slipping a lot. So he purposely wore bigger shoes because he was self-conscious about the size of his feet. I think Joe does the same thing. I think Joe is probably a solid US 9 or something, but he wears like a US 10, a US 11, and he just ties them really tightly because his feet, you know, he's conscious about his feet being fucking really small. I think so. But yeah, body full of violence. Joe out here pulling in the fucking fish. It looks fucking beautiful though. Let's be honest. It looks fucking gorgeous, right? This is what you should be doing with your money. Like, when you're as rich as Joe, you should be out in the open seas fishing randomly like this. Like, look at the view. Look at that. That's fucking gorgeous. That's what you should fucking be doing. Not ranting about fucking transgender people in fucking libraries reading children's books, right? Or like, you know, like, that's what you shouldn't be doing. Like, you shouldn't be screaming about fucking homelessness on your fucking podcast. You shouldn't be complaining about Gavin Newsom every day or talking about COVID or Donald Trump. When you've got more money than God, this is what you should be doing. You should be out in the open seas just fishing and hanging out, you know? That's what your money should afford you to do. Like, but Joe's out here fucking raging over the gays and the trans and all this stuff and UBI. It's like, bro, none of this even affects you. Like, why are you bothered about this? Continuing, more pictures of Joe. Look how happy he looks. When's the last time you've seen Joe look this happy in his podcast, right? when do you think Brendan's gonna do it? Is Brendan in the comments? Let's see, Brendan in the comments. Did he mention? Because I've got a feeling Brendan's gonna get. Because I'm really surprised. I think someone mentioned this in the stream chat. I remember I said I was surprised that Brendan never tried to copy Joe with the hunting stuff, or even with the gun stuff. Like going to that place. What's that place everyone goes to, where fucking what's his name? Where the John Wick actor did his training. I'm surprised Brendan never got into that. I think it's called like Seren Tactical or something, right? Terran Tactical, is that the one? I'm surprised Brendan never copied Joe with the gun thing, with the gun range thing, and with the hunting thing. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised. I said Terran Tactical. Pick up Asada and Edward. Thank you for that. I'm really surprised that Brendan never copied Joe with the hunting and the gun thing. He kind of just left that side alone. Maybe it's just too much work though, isn't it? That's probably why I didn't want to get into it. I'm surprised he never got into it like super hard. There's Joe with the fish there. And yeah, that's it. That fish kind of looks like Whitney, innit? It kind of looks like Whitney. Huh? It looks a bit like Whitney. That fish looks a bit like Whitney Cummings. The fish is giving Whitney. Anyway. Is in the comments. Is in the comments. Is he in the comments here? Oh, Laura Sanko's in there though. Hell of a catch. Let's see all the people sucking him off, because that's always kind of cringy. Let's see all the fucking celebrities sucking off Joe. Who's in here? Preston Pole. A lot of people don't realize if you have a barracuda out in water and put them in grass, they turn into a Jack Russell Terrier. Okay, that's, you see, this guy's not even a comedian, and that's funnier than anything Bert has ever said. A lot of people don't realize if you leave a barracuda out in the water and put them in grass, they turn into a Jack Terrier. Like, that legitimately is funnier than anything Bert Kreischer has said in the last 5 years. I swear to God. What else have people said here? Bow hunting, Jay, Scott, Sarah. Let's see some other celebrities. I want to see what the blue tick people have said here. Black Tip says, loving the fishing post. Joe Lozon, wait. Socks on a boat. I won't even walk in the bathroom with socks. Can we say this is another form of an annoying person? Can I say that? The person that ultra analyzes the background and stuff and points it out in the comments to make it look like they were paying attention. It's giving teacher's pet. It's giving how do I suck up to you in a fucking banter way. Imagine a person that hates this sort of shit. People that do that. Oh my God, I can't believe you've got the whatever book in there. Oh my God, I can't believe you have that. It's like, bro, stop over analyzing my picture to try and feign fucking familiarity and shit. Like, fuck off. Like, you knob. Socks on a boat. Anyway, another one. Joe for president. What's he in that? I want to see more blue tick people. Is anybody else? Any more blue tick people here? Scott Eastwood says, I will go with you anytime. Okay, Scott Eastwood. Okay, no more shit. No more blue tick people. I thought there'd be more blue tick people sucking off Joe and wanting to fucking get in there. Look at the teeth on that thing. Epic catch. Nice. Catch them for food or sport over there. They throw away their fish or use a bait here in NZ. We don't care. Nice kudos. Nice kudos, brother. Another man, you have to come catch some tuna in the northeast. All these men inviting Joe to his house, man. And I believe that tweet, man. Like, straight men are really homoerotic. Hey, man, you need to come over to my place, man. I'll show you some fish. It's like, what? What? Didn't know the fish. Time for a sturgeon trip. Clap, clap, clap. Okay, cool. Whatever. Anyway, don't be surprised if you see Brendan. Don't be surprised if you see Brendan. Don't be surprised if you see Brendan soon doing it. Who's this? Chris Mack. AZ's Hitler biography background is iconic. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris Mack. That is false information. That is, what did Rick Ross say? Allegations, accusations. You know what I mean? False information. No hablas inglés. No hablas inglés. Oh mate, oh mate, oh mate. No say Hitler. No say Adolf Hitler. No say. Anyway. Anyway, let's move on. Brenda's got a new car and he did a vlog about it, or the company he went to go do a vlog about it. Look at this, look at the views. Isn't this a clear indication of what happens when you don't buy views and why buying views ultimately is really bad? Because Brendan's doing his car delivery thing on his channel and it's 8 hours ago and it's only got 110 views. 110 views, bro. If Brendan is a big deal as he says, if he legitimately has 1 million followers on Instagram, he should be getting way more views, even if it's not on his channel. His content should be getting more views because he has a lot of fans out there that are eager and ready to see his content. The fact that it's got so little views is very obvious to me that that whole buying views thing is not a good idea. And I'm happy, again, you know, it's difficult when you're doing content the first time, especially if you're starting a small channel. The insecurities and even the shame or the embarrassment of, you know, streaming to 1 person, 2 people, 10 people can be quite hard to get over, especially in an industry or in a scene where a lot of people buy fake views. Like, I think for the most part, this is just my assumption, but I think the way to kind of get away with buying views is probably to be really popular anyway. If you're really popular and you top up your popularity, oh look, it's 112 now, with fake views, it's less obvious. So if you're a really big streamer, a really big YouTuber, and you start buying, you know, YouTube views of the 100,000s, it's less obvious because you already get hundreds of thousands of millions of views anyway. You just top it up with an extra 100,000. But I think when you're a small creator, I think it's or just on the come up, I think it's important not to do it, even if it's embarrassing that every time you stream or you record content you're getting less than 50 views. You're better off having 50 people that actually fuck with your shit than buying views and trying to pretend like you have way more fans than you do. Building up organically is a way to go, and I think what you're seeing now is proof of how it can kind of bite you in the ass in the long term, because now Brendan is kind of, you know, pivoting into different types of content. You would assume if he was somebody that had legitimately 1 million followers on Instagram, he should be able to get way more than this amount of views on his fucking YouTube. It shouldn't be that crazy on a YouTube video that he's filming about a car, especially a very rare limited edition car like the fucking Dodge Demon 170 he's got, right? This is a very limited edition car. They're gonna discontinue him. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he's only getting fucking, you know, whatever he's getting on the view. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, let's watch the video. Demon 170 delivery with Chop and Brendan. Let's see how Brendan acts in this video. This would be really, really funny. Oh, it's too high. The bedwidth's better. Yeah, let's put it to 360. Big up Zach Cray, or Zach Cree. Apologies for the mispronunciation. I think the whole Toontown thing is a tax write-off for that 1.6 million he's spending on cars on a new business to write off the tax avoidance. Clever guy. Okay, that makes sense. So the 1.6 million, because the 1.6 million he got from Podcast One was an amazing deal. He was owed that money anyway, so it's his money. But the fact that he was able to get that money out of a company that isn't going to make that amount in a fiscal year, probably ever, right? Their stocks and shares are down crazy amount. So he got that 1.6 million off of them. They had to go and get a loan from a payday lender in Spain, I think. Podcast One had to go and get a payday loan from a payday lender in fucking Spain to pay Brendan his 1.6 million. But obviously, 1.6 million. What's the tax in California? Tax in California. California for 1.6 million. Let's see if I can find this out. Let's do it on my phone here. I bet you it's like 40% or something crazy. Let's see. Is it 40%? It's 40%, right? Everyone's saying it's 40%. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. So so that would be what? So that would be most of it basically gone. That'll be back into the 100,000s, isn't it? God damn, son. Boom. California calculate. I bet that would be that, wouldn't it? 1,600. Let's see what they say here. Ouch. Ouch. Again, thank you, Space Car. Via my calculations I see online, that's probably like 600,000. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. Let's take away our dislike for Brendan. Let's take away our collective dislike away from Brendan. That's kind of clever though, isn't it? Because that's a lot of money you're paying in tax. That maybe is a kind of clever way to do it. You buy the cars to avoid the tax and you write them off because it's a business thing, and then later on you can sell them and get the money back. Or especially if he's a guy in the Dodge, he can get more money back for it. Is that not kind of smart? What are we saying there? For my business tax people on the fucking chat, what do you guys think? Okay, Zach's saying, yeah, I'm sure he was advised to, yeah. That's probably where Lex comes in, right? That's probably where that Lex guy comes in. Maybe that Lex guy, that's what he knows. He knows stuff like that, how to do tax avoidance. A lot of these car tubers, that's their scheme. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know, you still got to pay taxes on it when you sell it. Oh, okay, I get you, Coiler. I get you. So still Uncle Sam will get his fucking bit. One way or the other, Uncle Sam is gonna get his fucking bit. But Jesus, man, that's so fucking interesting, isn't it? You get 1.6 mil, and then suddenly you start a car show, and now suddenly you're fucking buying all these cars. So yeah, that makes sense. It's a bit transparent, but you know what I figured out also? Again, sorry for being dumb, but I've started to watch a lot more car content now. I think because I'm kind of in the mood of getting my own car, and I've got these kind of, you know, aspirations of getting a fucking old fucking, you know, Range Rover, old BMW X5, you know, getting a fucking old Ford Fiesta, Ford Focus, getting a BMW E30 and stuff. Like, I've got old aspirations of getting some old cars and trying to fix them up. You know what I've realized once I've been on YouTube checking out car content? I get why people are being so negative about Toontown. The car content game, there's so many content creators out there doing car content at such a good level, like at a high level. It's like, it's so oversaturated with good people. Brendan's stuff looks so terrible compared to him. Like, I'm seeing guys on YouTube who have been watching random people who have like one camera. He's literally filming it by himself. He's doing a whole review by himself, and those videos are far better than anything Brendan's produced. He doesn't have a team. He does everything on his own, and they are fucking amazing. Like, or those high production channels, like that channel called Donut, right? Those channels and shit. Look how highly produced those things are. They're fucking amazing. They're like fucking legit TV show things. Like, and Brendan's out here like doing content where he's afraid of doing donuts. He refuses to drive other people's cars and shit. Like, honestly, bro, the car content game on YouTube, the car content YouTubers are high level. I didn't know how high level it was.
Hey guys, today we have an exciting day. Long day, but exciting day.
What the fuck is this? Why does he always get his brother to come down when he buys stuff? What is this? Is that how they bond? Brendan tells his brother to come to California when he's going to go buy something. And he just awkwardly stands in the background. Like, what is he doing there when he's buying stuff? Is he holding the bags? Does he have Brendan's cards or something? Because Brendan doesn't like to have his cards with him. And obviously bringing your kid to these things as well is interesting, right? Because, you know, you're just training your kid to be a bit materialistic. But that's what I think. But maybe you think it's kind of cute to have your kid there, but it's like you're forcing your kid to be into fucking cars now. It's like those guys that force their kid to like support certain football teams. It's like by birth you're already putting them in certain jerseys. Same sort of thing here. You're forcing your kid into being a car guy. Like by force he must be a car guy. When for me, most of my kind of car interest kind of stemmed from just hanging around in the area and seeing guys fix their cars. Like I remember my first actual exposure to actual cars and car guys was around when I was 10 or something. I don't know why this was the case, but there was a guy in my area, right? This black guy, actually, oddly enough, he used to he fixed up about 2 or 3 at the time I was living in that area. He fixed up 2 or 3 version. Do you know the car in Starsky and Hutch? I don't know if that's a Dodge. I don't think it is a Dodge, but wherever that car is in Starsky and Hutch, some guy in my area in London had it. Like, and he kind of did 3 restorations of them. He got 3 that were busted up and basically built them up from scratch, repainted them, you know, interior, engine, the whole shebang. Like, that guy was amazing. That guy was a fucking wizard. And that's the first time I saw like an actual American muscle car, an actual car. Imagine that in London, the sound and how big it is and shit. So you know, you get an interest in cars by just like hanging around and shit and seeing shit. You don't get it by your fucking, you know, dad forcing you into fucking every day you go, you buy something, you kind of tag along. What was it? It's called a Ford Gran Torino. Is it Gran Torino? Okay, cool. My bad. I thought it was a Dodge. It's called a Ford Gran Torino. But yeah, yeah.
Hey, my boy Brandon here is getting his Demon 170.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a special day. We got the whole crew in here, so I can't thank you enough, man.
Yeah, he's got his son, his brother.
You know what's funny about this? Allegedly, he only got into the Dodge because of Rogan. Rogan spoke about it quite glowingly, I think, in the recent Save Our Parks, Save Your Parks with Matt, what's his name? Mark Norman, sorry, Shane Gillis and fucking Ari Shafir. Allegedly, I think I saw a clip somewhere where he spoke about it, and then suddenly, now here's Brendan suddenly on the Dodge hype, which is fucking hilarious.
I got my brother flying us. We're going to Vegas to visit my buddy Chop. Chop hooked us up with the bad one.
Big up Stinger Good, appreciate you, brother.
Sorry, but Jay is hard to look at. God bless him.
That is so mean. That is so mean. Leave him alone, Stinger Good. Leave him alone. What do you mean it's hard to look at? What's wrong with him? There's nothing wrong with him whatsoever. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? He's a white guy that works too much. What's so wrong with him? There's nothing wrong with that guy whatsoever. What's wrong with him? He's a white guy that works too much. Do you hate white people? Do you hate people that work too much? Okay.
170. Where when you guys see it? So
I can't wait.
See you guys in Vegas.
What is this? So, is this part of the car experience of this place? They're selling a car, but it's not there. So they invite Brendan to go what? Jump on a private plane to go and check out the car. Is this how they get you to buy the car, basically? By putting you on a private plane and shit. This is how they get you to buy the car, innit? This is a good hustle. This is a really good hustle, man. Honestly, the car salesmen in fucking United States, those guys are fucking G's. Jay's afraid to go on. Jay's waiting for permission to go on. Of course, Brendan is like, this is again, I'm hyper analyzing this, but isn't this classic selfishness? This is why you know this guy is self-centered. He's jumping on a private plane to go to another state to go pick up his car, and you know, whatever, small plane. He's with his son and his brother. Instead of standing behind them and letting his son and his brother go on the plane first, making sure they're okay, he gets on it first and doesn't even look back. He doesn't even look back. He walks on. Like, how are you walking on first? Why wouldn't you let your kid get on the plane first, at least, and then maybe followed by a brother? Like, he goes on straight before even going. He's like, and now his brother, who doesn't know the car guy, is just awkwardly standing outside, like, doesn't know what to do with his body. He's just awkwardly standing there. Fucking hell, Brendan, man. Come on, bro. Look, and he's not even like he's standing in the doorway, waving them in. He went quick. He went straight to sit down. He was more worried about getting his seat. He went in the window seat. He went in the window seat. He ran straight on. He didn't even look back. He didn't help his son. His son's standing there. His brother's there. He just... he ran on first and dims the window. Then the guy gives them permission and they finally jump on. Fucking hell, Brendan. Yeah, exactly, young old vibes. He couldn't even add any comedic exactly. No, what comedy? What comedy? Look at him. Yo, what kind of service is this, by the way? What kind of service is this? The car's not here. Instead of getting it delivered to your state, they go and fly you in a private plane out there. So what, he drives it back? That's fucking... Is it cheaper to go on a private plane to the place where the car is than it is to just ship the car to you? This is crazy level of service, isn't it? But I think this is just a finesse to get you to spend money, to be fair. Look how he's walking. Why is he walking like that? He's got a funny walk, innit? He walks like who's that guy? Is it is it Blackadder? It's not Blackadder. What's that robot in that comedy? He walks like what is it? Let me see. Legendary UK sci-fi shows. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? He walks like that robot in that TV series. I don't know why I suddenly got it in my head. Is it Red Dwarf? Is there a robot in Red Dwarf? Like a robot thing. He walks like that robot. Is it Red Dwarf? I think it's Red Dwarf. There's a robot in Red Dwarf, right? Is there a robot in it? I'm sure there's a robot in it, right? Is it a robot? Let's see if I've got it. Brendan walks like that robot in let's see if I've got it. Let's see if that's right. Let's go to images. Yes, that's the one. Brendan walks like this guy. Brendan walks like this. I don't know if you guys know this series, Red Dwarf, but Brendan walks like this guy. What's his name in it? What's the robot's name? Oh my god! I swear to God, he walks like that robot. What's the robot's name? Red Dwarf cast. Oh, is it Cretan? Okay, Cretan. Thank you for the chat. I swear to God, he walks like that. I don't know why. Okay, Cretan. Big up. Yeah, that's it. Brendan walks like this guy. Brendan walks like this. I swear to God, Brendan walks like Cretan. Or Creighton, however you pronounce it. Brendan walks like this robot in Red Dwarf. I swear on my life he does. I swear he does. Let's go back to the clip again. Where's the clip? Where is it? It's not that one. It's not that one. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Bear me a second. Where's the clip? No. Where's the clip? Oh, there you go, there. I swear to God, this guy walks like him. I swear. If you see the video of him walking, you tell it. Watch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a bit of a deep cut. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Let's continue. Yo, how much music is going on in this thing? No voiceovers, no talking, nothing. Yo, Brendan loves to buy shit, innit? Look at that smile. Have you ever seen Brendan smile about anything else like that? He fucking, that's one thing you could tell for sure. Like, he definitely loves spending money. Like, this guy loves to spend money. That's a genuine smile. I've not seen him smile like that in a long time. That's a fucking genuine smile. It's like, fuck yeah, another car, another one. Don't get me wrong, it's a lovely car, right? Beautiful car. I'd obviously drive it, yeah? You just got to get rid of these little at the bottom. But it's a decent, really good looking car. And obviously, you know, it's fucking fast as shit. But I don't know, this is a weird observation to make. And again, maybe this is a bit pocket watchity. I've never understood why you would want to look way richer than what you actually are. Especially when, you know, talent-wise, you're not that great. It's just odd, isn't it? That's the only thing I've always wondered. Like, why does he want to look like he's a former fucking 7 year, 10-year plus NFL fucking veteran? He's a decorated UFC. Like, he wants to look like that kind of guy when he's not, right? His comedy isn't that great. Doesn't tour as much. Like, why are you like? I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, his stuff doesn't match his like content. If you get what I mean. Like, this guy lives like a baller. Do you know what I mean? He lives like he's got like 1 million fucking viewers every day and shit. You know, like he's falling over himself with sponsorship. He's always going to all these big events when really he's just like a, you know, I won't say middle of the road, but he's just your average podcaster really. But he behaves, the way things that he buys for himself, how he lives his lifestyle, you'd think he was doing way more than what he actually does, you know? I think the majority of the money he makes, again, no pocket watching, definitely comes from talking into a microphone on a podcast, really. That's on YouTube, most of the money. So it's like, you don't have any like big brand deals, really. You know what I mean? The whiskey's not doing much out of that, you know, out of that way. Sponsorships are not really there, apart from Rain. Like, why are you trying to live like this? It's so odd to me. Like, why would you want to live? It just gives yourself an unnecessary, but maybe that's the point. Maybe he's doing that Rogan thing. Because I remember Rogan saying when he was coming up, it's really bad financial advice, but Rogan was saying when he was coming up, he would purposely buy things outside of his like budget to push him to keep working. That was his like motivation. He'd like buy stuff that he knew he could just about afford to kind of make him hustle harder. So maybe Brendan does the same thing. Maybe Brendan purposely buys all these things because he wants to, like, you know, and just forget all that shit. This guy just had a baby daughter, didn't he? He just had a baby daughter. And usually, I don't know about you guys, again, I don't have kids, but usually when you have kids, don't guys usually like downsize? Don't they like sell their Lotus? Don't they sell their like Porsche or their Lambo? That's what usually happens, right? When you have a kid, you downsize and you buy an SUV. This guy got a daughter and then bought a fucking Dodge. He had a, you know, like he had a third kid, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna buy a Dodge." It's like a 2-seater Dodge when you just got a new baby is fucking crazy. brand new in it, still with the wrap. That's got to be a nice feeling, right? Because you know most of the stuff that I've bought in my life has been secondhand, so I can't imagine how nice it would be to buy a car new, brand spanking new off the lot, and it's still got the fucking plastic wrapping on the chairs and shit. Like that must be a nice feeling, man. I saw a video recently of the guy from Carwow. Actually, I forgot the host's name, the British dude. He bought a Porsche, the same car that Brendan, I think. Actually, I don't know if he sold it. I don't know if Brendan sold his Porsche GTR 5. Is it GTRS? Yeah. And the guy on Carwow, he got one done for him specifically, customized and shit, and he got it delivered to the Porsche dealership, and he picked it up, and he was literally removing the plastic film on, like, you know, on the decals, everything, on like the steering wheel. So fucking cool to see, to be honest. Like, cars basically get delivered like any other electrical appliance that you buy online and shit. They're covered in plastic and shit. So the guys had to, like, you know, take off all the like protective plastic and film and shit. It was pretty cool to see, I'm not gonna lie.
So we're blessed right now, right here at Tobin Dodge, #1 in the world, to have Brendan Schaub in our showroom, man. Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you, brother.
Baby.
Yeah, thank you for coming through, man.
100%.
Not too many people come through on Demon 170s.
100%.
A lot of people said they could do it. You guys are the only ones that actually pulled it off.
So what do you think is going on here? Do you think this guy gave Brendan a discount? Because these things are going for way above their, you know, manufacturer's fucking, you know, recommended price. So what do you think happened? Do you think they gave him a deal, even though they're going for like 100 grand, 200 grand above retail? Or do we think they just flew him there for free and got the content out of him? What do you think happened? Because this guy is giving NFT guy, he's giving something. I mean, I don't know, he seems a little bit scammery. I don't know. I don't know much about the dude, but there's something about him, from the chain to the beard to the bald head, the Cazelle glasses. He seems like a bit of a grifter, you know? There's something going on there. Maybe he's using this content and cutting it up and then using this content to get people to sign up to his mastermind. Maybe that's the case, right? Maybe this is part of it. Maybe this is part of the acquisition. Content, content acquisition, or whatever, the marketing acquisition, I think, when you pay. Yeah, I think this is part of it. One of those things. I've got the term. This feels like one of those type of things. He's going to cut these things up into clips, and then he's going to put it out there with money behind it and hope people sign up to his fucking mastermind or his Telegram group or his Discord and shit. This feels like it.
We got you. I was just happy that we had the right color for you, and it just kind of worked. The stars aligned. My friend Yoel, who we do a lot of business with, and he's famous for, he sold the car to Drake, the LaFerrari.
Yes.
The white Maybach to our guy Khaled, that was out hanging out on the roof. And what's another car? You do all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
Give me one or two more.
Well, Floyd, right? That's how we met, over
so
Floyd.
We met through Mayweather, so I sold Floyd 200 cars and 21 Rolls Royces, but my man Yoel here sold him the Koenigsegg.
I love Floyd, isn't it? Why is Floyd buying 21 Rolls Royces? Can you imagine being that rich that you buy 21 of the same car? Just for the fuck of it. You buy 21 Rolls Royces. That's so fucking extra. It's so unnecessary, isn't it? People in stream chat are saying this car dealer used to have a TV show called The King of Cars or something. Big up Cloud K20. Okay, I didn't know that. Only Brendan would fly private to get a deal on the Charger. Exactly, Rex. Teju, is that customer acquisition? Big up NJ Ranger. Thank you for that. Teju says probably a 10k discount, which really doesn't mean much. So he definitely is fleecing Papa. He probably knows that they're gonna drop the price like crazy once the production ramps up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Multi-million-dollar cars.
Enzos, Bugattis, you know.
And they sold me a Dodge.
The big stuff. The big stuff. But what's crazy, I was just saying, is like your fans follow you for all the stuff you do. And one of the things you do is you're a real car guy.
Yeah.
Like you have some dope cars, you build trucks.
You're a real car guy. Press X to doubt. Even he heard it. He wasn't convinced. Look at his face. You're a real car guy. He's like, is this guy trolling me? Even Brendan isn't convinced when he said it to him. Even he's not convinced. You're a real car guy. Is he though? Is he though? And again, there's nothing wrong with just being a guy that has money that buys cars. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I don't understand the lack of humility, because being a car guy is kind of it's kind of all encompassing. you kind of really have to give up a lot of your time to be a car guy, like to actually get into it for sure. You know, that's a lot of like weekends not spent with your family. That's a lot of like, you know, a lot of fucking, you know, your fingers getting chipped and damaged and, you know, whatever. Like that's a lot of stress. It's not easy to be a car guy. So yeah, there's no shame in just being a guy that has money and likes to buy nice cars. There's no shame in that. But you know, this guy wants to be all things to all men. Wants to be a billionaire. Also wants to be a man to people. Blue collar, beast of a dad. You know, all over the place.
Yep. So you're like our type of dude, you know
yes,
what I mean?
sir.
And so I see your TRX, I see you always hooking it up and customizing and doing all the things you do. And it was perfect when I heard that you wanted the 170. I was like, man, I really wanted to go to somebody that really enjoyed it. Because sometimes it'll go to a collector that's cool, but it might be quiet.
But they use them as art pieces.
Right,
like I drive my cars.
Yes, sir.
Like, and you know this, I drive my car, so this thing will be driven. Yeah.
So you gonna make it do a wheelie or what?
Oh yeah, that's why I bought it. Yeah, what are we doing here?
So we were lucky, like, so Bob Brodendorf, who runs Dodge brand at the time, he's asked me to announce this car, so I got to be on the track when they flew it in on the helicopter.
Yeah, the silver
one. I was like
one.
a little kid, man.
He say, "What are we doing here?" as well. That's funny.
My son goes, and my son's done some cool stuff. Like your kids get to see some cool stuff because all the things you do. So my son was like, Dad, I think this might be my favorite day ever.
Came in on a helicopter.
And we knew behind the scenes, like we knew that was going to happen. There's some crazy stories that happened behind the scenes on how that all happened. And that thing came over our head, and I was like, I love these guys.
I love that Brendan's met his match. Brendan's going to go buy a car, and this guy's like giving him his life story. Like he's making it all about himself. I love that Brendan has finally met his match, right? He can't even get a word in. This guy has like made it all about himself. He's finally met a bigger redact, a bigger narcissist than him. You'd think he'd be like hey man, like tell us what you know about Dodges. How did you get into them? Do you know much about the car? About the demand, the inspiration? Like ask him questions. No, the guy's just talking about how rich he is, flying in a helicopter, his fucking celebrity friends. That's all. Brendan has to just sit here and hear this guy bar him to death. And this short guy is just like, you know, this fucking car, Jason Calcanis is just standing there trying to be a part of it, be one of the lads, you know?
Guys, we kind of moved out of the way.
Yeah, this is cool.
On top of our heads.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to get killed by a demon.
He gets on the track and runs 8.66. Yeah, nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah. So.
Even the rings as well. This guy just screams fucking scammer. He screams scammer, man. Like there's something about him. He just screams fucking scammer. I don't know. He might not be, but this guy just screams scammer.
It's dope, man. Congratulations. I'm really happy that you came through and that you're getting this car. And you got your laces matching.
Yeah, dude, I'm ready to go, dude. Sublime
I don't
green.
know if you know this.
Did he actually wear those shoes because he knew he was going to pick up that car? Fucking hell, Brendan, man. He's a literal child, isn't it? He's a literal fucking child. Did he actually wear those off-white blazers because he was going to pick up that car? Oh, fucking hell.
We're in Vegas. We came in from LA. He's driving this home.
Oh,
he's taking it straight home right now.
When I say I drive it, like this thing's gonna have 10,000 miles on it by the end of the year, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy because most 170s are gonna get put away. You know what I mean? Even my cars, I got them tucked away. I'll show you a couple. Even my cars, they get tucked away a little bit. You know what I mean? But this thing, it's gonna be dope because people get to see it and people get to touch it because you don't see the 170s.
You don't see them. It's a unicorn.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and
it's an evil unicorn.
And one thing I want to say is that never mind the Chop had the car. He hooked up the best deal I've ever seen on a D-Man right here. Exactly. He chopped it.
Hold on. When they say chopping prices, you can't touch these things for well over 100 MSRP. He chopped the price.
Yeah.
Chopped the price, baby.
So how much did you give it to him for? If they're going for like what? They're going for like what? 90 to 100 grand. They're going above MSRP, which is what 100. Which is obviously what I said, and I think I saw somebody listing one for like 300 grand, 200 grand. So what did they give him? They gave him the MSRP basically. They sold it to him for the regular price that it should be sold for. Is that what he's getting excited about?
Chop it. Yeah, he chopped it. I was like, these guys are full of it, man. There's no way. But here we are. Also, this is how crazy Chop is. So all around the nation, we've scoured it.
It kind of reminds me of there's that meme that goes around. No, I think there was a girl on TikTok where she filmed this video where she was like walking in Target or something, and she basically peeled back the price tags, the little fucking things, the squares where they put the price, during Black Friday, and it basically had the same price but in different fonts and different colors. They just kind of put them in front and kind of, you know, basically make it look like they changed the price, but they didn't. They just put a new graphic, and so that's kind of what happened to him. He thought he got a discount, but they just sold it for him for the, you know, for the manufacturer's price, which is 90 something grand.
Every dealer to find a Demon 170, you had what, 5, 6 here? I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, this is nuts, bro.
Hey, you guys are in the #1 Dodge dealership in the world. Period.
Multiple years we've worked hard to be #1, but you know how hard it is to get to that championship level. You know how hard it is to get to.
You know how hard it is to get to that championship level. Is that like a diss? Because he never got to championship level. That sounds like a bit of a diss. You know how hard it is. That's kind of insulting, isn't it? You know how hard it is when you get beaten up by your ex-girlfriend's new fiance, you know? That's fucking kind of crazy.
It takes a lot of work, and this is how we do it. We got to do something different. So if we can work with our team and we can have people that support us, you guys come in, we're going to hook it up, give you a great experience. We chops the price. We got my guy Brandon right here. Hey. Man, I appreciate you, baby.
Let's
ride this thing.
Chopping prices on Demon 170s?
Why does he keep spudding that guy, not spudding the short guy? The short guy put him on a private plane. The short guy put him on a private plane. He took his fucking brothers and his kids with him, and he just keeps spudding the big chop guy. The little guy that's not getting, he's not getting any appreciation. Maybe he reminds us too much of George. Why is he not getting any love? He just keeps spudding the other guy. He's not giving that guy any fucking love.
People that support us, you guys come in, we're going to hook it up, give you a great experience. We chops the price. We got my guy Brandon right here. Hey. Man, I appreciate you, baby.
Let's
ride this thing.
Chopping prices on Demon 170s?
Come on. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yes, old school.
Congratulations to Brendan Schaub for the purchase of a brand new Demon 170 from Toby. #1 in the nation.
He's such a weird guy, innit? He jumps on the fucking private plane before his kid and his brother gets on there and just rushes to get his own seat without looking back to see if they're okay. Then he gets given this gong thing, you know, as a ceremonial thing when he buys his car. And instead of just giving it to his son to fucking gong it, he can't be bothered. He just does it himself. It's like, bro, let your kid fucking, if you bring your kid there, just let him do it. I know he's a bit shy. Just give him some encouragement. Take your time. Hey, don't worry, mate. You got this. Just let him do it. Like, what is this? Look at like, just give your kid the gong, man. Give your kid the thing. Ready? He just takes it off him. This is me. This is about me. Brendan, man, let your kid gong, man. Fucking hell. Yeah, exactly, Stinger Goo. Yeah, Tiger probably should be in school, but Brendan took Tiger out of school to go pick up that Ford Lightning. Fair enough. Maybe take him out of school to get this. Doesn't that car look a bit like Shrek from here, innit? With the little ears. Oh, am I bugging? Doesn't this car look a bit like Shrek? With the side mirrors there. But Brendan took his kid out of school to go buy the Ford Lightning. Maybe kid take him out of school to buy this, but the Ford Lightning, come on, bro. Really? Is this the same music I played at the beginning? Whoever edits the videos for this channel, man, they didn't make no effort. Was this the same music we heard in the beginning? The same music, isn't it? God almighty, bro. Where's his brother? His brother in there? In the back seat, probably. Also, it's not 2-seater, it's a 4-seat. You can fit actual humans in the back. Cool. What's the deal with the other kid, by the way? Why doesn't the other kid exist? Boston. What do you think was the deal with Boston? My theory, just talking out my ass, is that maybe Boston has shown more of a inclination to be more of an artist or something. Maybe he's a little bit more soft. Maybe he's not as like, you know, maybe he's not as he's not as like rough as maybe Tiger or something. And maybe Brendan doesn't really side of it because it's as if Boston doesn't exist, isn't it? Tiger's the one that gets all the love and the treatment. He's the one that gets pulled out of school, gets taken cross country to go see fucking cars. Brendan's always taking pics of him on his Instagram. But the other kid, the other boy doesn't really exist. He definitely has a favorite son in it. He definitely has a favorite son. The other kid doesn't really like, it's odd. He doesn't really talk about him much. Like, it's only Tiger really. Tiger's the only one he takes pictures of. Boston gets no fucking love. Maybe because Boston's showing more artistic flair. Maybe he's showing that he's a bit more in touch with his emotions, and Brendan's like gay and just doesn't talk to him. Yeah, exactly, Koila. He's emo. Exactly, yeah. Maybe Boston's the emo one. Or Boston, because Boston doesn't fuck chicks. That's why. He doesn't fuck chicks. Can you imagine if you're George? Can you imagine if you're George? If you're fucking, you know, happy-go-lucky George, right? With that fucking fake smile shit that he does, right? Can you imagine if you're George and you got fired and this guy is rocking up to Las Vegas, wherever they are, in a fucking private plane to go prick up a lime green limited edition Dodge, sorry. Can you imagine how pissed you'd be? Your blood would be boiling, bro. You couldn't get paid on time. They were trying to dock your wages and shit. You're being threatened with, you know, with fucking firing. And this guy's flying to another state in a private jet to go pick up a limited edition lime green Dodge. Life isn't fair. Life isn't fair.
The supercharger on those cars make the best sound.
Oh,
there's not a better whine. Well, you have the TRX, so you already know.
This guy reminds me so much of Jason Calcanis from All In Podcast. Those little like small whiny guys, like meow, meow, meow. Very kind of like almost effeminate, but also just very kind of whiny. You know, like kind of it reminds me a lot of Jason Calcanis from All In Podcast. If you know All In Podcast, you'll know.
The only complaint I ever have when I get cars for the first time is especially on a car like this.
When I get cars, how many cars do you need, bro? Honestly, how many cars do you need? How many cars does an average comic who has a podcast that has like, you know, decreasing numbers by the fucking day? How many cars do you really need? Honestly, really and truly. You got three kids, one critter, or 2 kids, 1 critter, you know, growing family, and like, do you really need a sports car? It's so irresponsible, bro. Like, do those kids? Do you think those kids have savings, or do they just live paycheck to paycheck with the kids? Like, does that kid have a fucking nest egg? Like, is there a, you know? Does that kid have an ISA or something? Like, I'm surely that money could be spent best elsewhere, but hey.
The exhaust is too quiet for me.
It's too quiet. Well, you're so used to your TRX. Yeah. You'd be surprised. Outside, they're pretty loud.
Yeah.
If I do like a blow by you, it'll be like, oh man.
He's gonna get it modded, isn't it? The exhaust is too quiet. He wants to get it modded. He's gonna get it modded. He's gonna fucking mod it.
But I wouldn't do straight pipe by. They need some back pressure, you know. Maybe do like a louder. Maybe we can build something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, the sound still good.
I don't know what's worse, this or Toontown. Like, I've learned nothing about the car. I've learned nothing about what Brendan thinks about the car. It's just, what have I learned? Nothing. Oh, look at the rims on that at the back. Wide body kit and those rims. That's fucking beautiful. Off. Look at that. Look at that bad boy.
Hey man, we had a great meeting. Appreciate you coming out. It was great to meet you.
You're the best.
Thank you for everything, brother. Enjoy this monster.
Yeah, thank both you guys.
Tiger,
man.
great to meet you, little man. Did you have fun? Yeah, you were playing the simulator?
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, he got a fucking handshake. Finally, the guy brought in a private plane. Finally got a handshake.
The best.
I'll see you in LA.
Yeah, I'll text you guys when I get to LA.
See you later.
I'll see you in LA. Yeah, I'll text you.
Go too crazy.
Of course.
Yes, thank you guys. I won't drive too crazy back home.
All right.
Do a wheelie.
When I get out.
All right, we'll see you guys. Hey guys, look who's back in LA.
I'm alive. I made it back in the rain, traffic. Driving Demon 170s are cool, but they come with those Mickey Thompson slicks. So when you're going down the highway about 80 miles an hour in the rain, it gets dicey.
I'm sure.
And you're not supposed to go too crazy when you first get them because we got it brand new, so it had about 8 miles.
What do you got now?
374. Who's counting? I need to get to 500 so I can unleash the beast. That's what we're waiting for. Break it in 500, and then we can have some fun.
You know, I can always help you get some miles on it. You know?
I do. Take it as much as you want. I think I trust you. You got some nice cars around here.
So here's the cool part, guys. He put some E85 in it. We're trying to get this thing to become alive. We want to get all 1,025 horsepower on this car. We're not going to do any driving today. We did a little driving out of the dealership, but he promised he's bringing the car back so we can lay the meat.
Do you what?
Meanest burner out there.
Do a real burnout. We don't want to do the mild burnout, not in this thing. So the burnout, you hit over the 500 miles mark, so this unleashes the beast. And then my only complaint for being a Demon 170 and having over 1,000 horsepower, it's too quiet.
Okay.
My only complaint.
Well, we can fix that.
We gotta make some changes there, but other than that, love it. Absolutely love it.
He thinks having those superficial complaints makes him a car guy, innit? That's what he thinks. He thinks when he makes those like basic bitch superficial observations, the exhaust is too quiet. He thinks that makes him a car guy. I think that's what he thinks. Like getting the label, getting the badge on the side replaced, replacing the steering wheel. I'm a car guy. Replacing the fucking, the head on the gearbox or something, right? Changing the seat covers, car guy. Adding some lights or something. I mean, that's what he thinks. He thinks being a car guy is like putting like a bobblehead on the dashboard. Car guy edited, right? Or having having a backlight on the dials on the fucking car. Back in the day, guys would have like the Playboy sign, the Playboy bunny on the backlight of the fucking dials. Or like a furry fucking cover for the steering wheel. Car guy. All right, mate. All right. Whatever you say.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. It was a fun trip on Saturday to go up there. Chop hooked us up, show us some of his collection. You guys got to watch this video, but please stay tuned to part 2 when we actually drive the demon like it should be driven.
Like it should be driven.
Now we're babying it a little bit.
I've had it for, what, 3 days, and we're almost at 500 miles. So this thing's meant to be driven. That's what we're going to do.
What else are you going to do to it? What are you thinking?
Pry off the bat.
What's this pride about driving a car? Isn't that what everyone does? Who's buying this car and putting it in a fucking museum? Most people that buy this car are buying it to like drive. Most people I've seen in America who have Dodges are buying them because they are really fast and they are cool to drive and shit, right? Like someone said, it's a road legal fucking, you know, drag racing car. Like, why is he patting himself on the back for driving a car that he bought? What is this? Don't you drive cars? Like, it doesn't matter what car it is. Like, aren't you going to drive it? Isn't it going to be something that you actually want to drive day to day? Porsche, Lambo, whatever. Like, why would you buy a nice car, spend loads of money on it, work hard to afford it, only to just have it in your garage just to look at?
The exhaust, get it louder, get rid of those cats, and then probably tune it. Start with a tune and take it from there.
Because it's not enough power.
Not enough power.
It's never enough power, guys. If you're a car guy, you know that. There's no such thing of too much power.
It's almost perfect, but not quite. Mopar.
Of course there's a thing of too much power. What are you talking about? Isn't power situational? Like, depending on what you use it for. If you have an off-road car, wouldn't the power be appropriate for doing off-road things? Same with if you had a car that was used to fucking run around on a farm or something, or a car used as a daily driver. What is this? Not all power is like, what? Not everybody wants their, what? Does everybody want their fucking, you know, their fucking Nissan Micra to go, you know, to have fucking 1,000 horsepower? Like, you don't need your smart car to be 500 horsepower. Like, what? Like, what is this obsession with having crazy horsepower just for the sake of it when you're driving your kids to school? You're dropping your kids off to fucking, what's the thing called? To, what's that thing called? Sierra Nevada, wherever the fucking school is in LA, that private school. You're going to go pick up your kids, drop them off at private school. You're going to the Laugh Factory. Like, it's not as if like you're driving cross country. Like, why do you need all that horsepower anyway? You're going to do the fucking grocery run. Like, it's kind of wasted on you, you know, like.
Car made as perfect as you can get it from a dealer, but then my boy Josh here at Fusion will get it perfect.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm glad you made it home safe.
Me too, man. Driving on slicks isn't.
Look at that handshake. He's so short. Holy shit, bro.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm glad you made it home safe.
Me too, man.
He's that bagel guy, isn't it, right? Bagel guy. Is he dead? No, he's not dead. Is he dead? Yeah, he's that guy, isn't it? He is. He's attacking me. Exactly. That's him. That is definitely him. I don't care what anyone says. That is definitely fucking him. That's the same fucking guy. You're not my father. You're not my brother. You're not the boss of me, you know? Oh, that's fucking beautiful. But yeah, let's go continue.
Driving on slicks isn't cool.
We'll see you next time. Back with the demon. Thanks, guys.
That was fucking awful. That was pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty fucking awful. We found a worse car show than Toontown. The fucking stock music, the horrible non-existent narrating, the stiff presenting, and just, I don't know, just a guy that went to pick up his car. Like, that was Blockbuster for sure, bro. That was fucking awful. What are the comments saying? Whatever you guys do, don't let this guy anywhere near your trucks. Great episode, great content, really awesome demon car, really nice. The reason why we don't like this guy is because it's well known. He's a well documented liar. Dude, oh Jesus, this guy went in. Dude lies about everything. just look at like the smartest man in the room. On top of that, he has no accountability for his own words or actions, and is one of the biggest haters himself, and all the while insisting people hate on him because he's tall and good looking. Probably the worst is he fancies himself as a comedian, but he's terribly thin-skinned and can't even riff on a joke. Man is bad stock. Yo, he went in on the hate. That is real hate, bro. Man wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines on Brendan. Another one. Yep, the first thing I do when I buy an exhaust is buy an exhaust to drown out that annoying supercharger whine. I want a loud exhaust. What? Oh yeah, treading. Think about that. That's a very good observation. Another one. The salesman is dressed up like a black market cigar dealer. Watch out for this guy. He painted his TRX in house paint. Knows nothing about cars, only trying to get views somehow. Some way to pay his mortgage. Wow. What do you guys think of the show? What about video, says Dan P. Those Calabasas 01 groceries are heavy. Most people who bought this car as an investment are not driving it. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Thick nectarine. I see what you mean. Obviously he didn't though, innit? I guess he didn't. But I guess there's some people out there that are flipping these cars. Obviously now because the market, you know, is what it is with them. That was the worst car segment I've ever seen in my life. No cap. Exactly, Rex. He also wears all these kicks. I wear all my shoes. Like, yeah, congratulations. You wear shoes that you buy. That was on par with the Tremaine stream. Okay. All right, fair enough. That Tremaine stream, I'm never living that down, innit? I fucking hurt some of you guys. I scarred some of you guys forever with that stream. I just came out of the blue and surprised you guys with this fucking dog shit interview of this guy calling Supreme racist and talking about t-shirts as if they're like, you know, weapons of, you know, ending racism and shit. Like, that was fucking brutal. Some of you guys will never forgive me for that, and I understand. I completely understand. I completely understand. Well, you won't forgive me for that Tremaine stream because that was awful, man. I really put you through it. But yeah, again, I just think it's like par for course with Brendan, and like this car thing could be so much better than what it is. It could be a time for some level of humility. You know, it could be a chance to kind of rewrite how he does content, but instead it's just turned into another way to kind of inflate his ego for him to kind of appear like he knows more than what he actually knows when he doesn't. He doesn't ever want to appear like the student, ever appear like he's learning. It's all like, yeah, I'm a car guy, I know all these things and shit, and then you end up with this stale, terrible content that, you know, doesn't need to exist really. It's kind of sad, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of friggin' sad. Moving on. Okay, am I back yet? 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 Yeah, I'm back. Okay, cool. I'm back. Okay, cool. Apologies for the delay. As you guys saw there, Joy Koi says, no more Joy Koi for us going forward. So let's just read over some coverage here. I want to see what people have been saying about Joy Koi and this horrendous performance that he did. So let's see. He responded, actually. Didn't he respond somewhere? Where did he respond? He responded here. He responded. Let's see what he said about the response. What did Joy Koi say about his actual performance on stage? I'm curious to hear what he said. What did this guy say? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Come on, bro.
Love you.
You made us Filipinos so proud tonight.
I love you. You make me proud tonight.
You know, no, this is about you.
I had to drop mahal kita at the end.
Yeah,
Did you hear me say that? I had to say it.
It was kind of
I want everybody to know. I'm gonna still drop some Filipino in this night tonight. We're saying mahal kita, and I want the world to Google it. Like, Google that.
And not for nothing, big night for AAPI, right?
Come on, all day. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's not just one. Yeah. It's like for all of us.
Real quick, did you see Taylor's reaction to your joke this week?
Oh man,
what'd you think?
It was cute. I was just saying it was cute. I was just saying it's just less cutaways. You know what I mean? That's all.
You know, maybe she was just thirsty. She needed to take a drink of the champagne.
Oh man, I love you, man. Thank you so much.
Okay, no idea what happened there. Let's hear what he said backlash wise. He was happy about that. Okay, let's see. He responded to the backlash. What did he say? What did he say? Exactly, you failed for all of us. Exactly. Joy Coy responds to the backlash. The stand-up comedian and actor has spoken out about his unpopular performance, calling it an off night. Isn't it funny? All these comedians that are in, all of these comedians. Oh, Jesus, that footballer died. How did he die? Wow. R.I.P. to Grimsby Town mourns heartbreaking death of footballer. Fuck, R.I.P. Isn't it fucking ironic that all these comedians that are endorsed by Rogan have such disasters? Didn't Sebastian Maniscalco do the same thing? He presented like an MTV thing, didn't he? And again, I love Sebastian, but I think he failed on that one too. Anytime these guys actually get a big time gig, they talk about being anti-industry and about the industry doesn't give them any respect and they're way too popular, all this sort of shit. Whenever they get given a big chance on the big stage under the big lights, they always crumble. Don't you find that funny? All these guys who think they're like the best comedians in the world, they think they're the Navy SEALs of comedians, they're the last line of defense, right? 1,000 strong. When they get a chance to actually perform on the biggest stage there is in front of normies, in front of the general public, they all fucking fail. Golden Globes host, I feel bad. Let's see what he said here. Comedian Joy Coy has responded to the backlash over his performances over the host of the Golden Globes. The last minute pick of the role received a negative reaction. Okay, so he wasn't last minute pick. So who dropped out then? I want to know who dropped out. Who dropped out? For Joy Coy to get the gig, who said no? Last minute, who cancelled? And reportedly in the room with an unnamed prominent director referring to it as a disaster. Wow. The last minute pick for the role received a negative reaction online and reportedly in the room with an unnamed director referring to it as a disaster. A Vanity Fair, Richard Lawson calling his opening monologue a horrid, sophomoric mishmash of lazy jokes. Oh my God. That is brutal. A horrid, sophomoric mishmash of lazy jokes. Let's hear the fucking AI say it.
A horrid, sophomoric mishmash of lazy jokes.
Oof. One more time, AI. One more time.
A horrid, sophomoric mishmash of lazy jokes.
Oof. Coy, known as a stand-up comedian and actor, appeared on ABC's GMA, What You Need to Know, and addressed the response. I had fun. Okay, let's hear what you said here. Let's do the AI. Yeah, right, you had fun.
I had fun, he said. You know, it was a moment that I'll always remember. It's a tough room. It was a hard job. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't hurt. Hosting is just a tough gig. Yes, I'm a stand-up comic, but that hosting position, it's a different style. I kind of went in and did the writer's thing. We had 10 days to write this monologue. It was a crash course. I feel bad, but I got to still say I loved what I did.
You had 10 days to write it, and that's the best you could come up with. 10 days is a lot of time. Am I not mistaken? Again, these guys don't work regular jobs. They don't work a regular 9 to 5. Some of them have nannies. I think Joy has like a teenage son, so he doesn't need a nanny to look after him. You don't have any other responsibilities really. And if it's 10 days to write a fucking opening monologue for the Golden Globes, your family needs to take a back seat. It's not that difficult. 10 days and this is what you write. And then he's trying to say, look what he says here to fucking, like kind of push away himself from blame. Yes, I'm a stand-up comic, but that hosting position is a different style. I thought funny's funny. Don't these guys say funny's funny? If funny's funny, you should be able to host a fucking bar mitzvah. You should be able to host a kids party at McDonald's. You should be able to host or give a speech at a fucking funeral and make people laugh. If you're funny like you say you are, it doesn't matter what scenario you're in, what setting, you should be able to make people's fucking ribs split. But obviously, this is a different style. What? Coy's jokes range from commenting on Saltburn star Barry Keoghan's on-screen nudity, where's your penis seated, or Ozempic, the color purple is what happens when you the color purple is what happens to your butt when you take Ozempic. The length of the Oppenheimer, I just have one complaint, it needed another hour, and Barbie based on plastic doll with big boobs. honestly, you have people at work. You have a guy now at work at the moment in your fucking lunchroom. You have a guy that you work with or somebody that you know that's funnier than Joy Coy. I promise you, most of the regular people that we all know are way more funnier than fucking Rogan's friends or the 1,000 strong of these comedians. These guys are so overrated, isn't it? They're so fucking shit. 10 days to write jokes and you make that. He also made a joke about Taylor Swift, nominated for cinematic and box office achievement for her Eras tour, dating the Kansas Chief tight end Travis Kelce. As you know, we came on after the football doubleheader. He said the big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift, I swear. To be fair, the Taylor Swift joke was quite good in that it was insulting and quite obviously a telling of real life, because people are annoyed that she keeps getting shown on the fucking screen every time Travis Kelce's team plays, but it still didn't land right. It's on paper it's actually a good joke, but when he said it, it didn't come across well, but it's actually a good joke. It led to an instant unimpressed reaction from the star, which quickly spread online. When asked about the moments during the show, he regretted it and said, he regretted it. Really? You can't regret the fucking joke, you idiot. When asked about moments during the show, he regretted. He said, I think it was when Taylor was just a little flat. Sorry, I think the Taylor one was just a little flat. It was a weird joke, I guess. But it was more of an NFL. I was trying to make fun of the He has to explain his jokes. Oh my God, you're drowning. I was trying to make fun of the NFL using cutaways and how the Globes didn't have to do that. So it was more of a jab towards the NFL, but it just didn't come out that way. He's scared of Taylor. Taylor Swift has got shooters. He's afraid of the Taylor Swift goons. He's afraid of the Swifties. He doesn't want the Swift. Oh, his comments must be littered with Swifties, isn't it? The Swifties are fucking destroying Joy Coy's mentions and comments. Taylor Swift Swifties, her shooters are fucking ready to crash out on her, man. They're ready to crash out. Coy summarized it as an off night, and he fell a bit short, but he remained proud. Of course, how can he be proud of that? Like, I wanted to give it a bit more of me. You're never coming back. This year's ceremony was dominated by the winds of her. I wanted to give it more. Like, what? Another one. Jesus Christ, bro. He got destroyed, didn't it? Guy Lambert, Golden Globes Awards ceremony, muted response to the host. I want to hear who he replaced. Comic Joy Coy, first-time presenter at the Globes, struggled to get his opening monologue off the ground. As BuzzFeed David Mack joked, Coy's monologue, it was in tribute to Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's get the AI to read this.
As BuzzFeed's David Mack joked, Coy's monologue was, in a tribute to Oppenheimer, a bomb.
That's actually a good joke. That's actually a better joke than what Joy Coy read. It's a tribute to Oppenheimer, a bomb. Coy himself seemed to acknowledge some of the jokes weren't catching fire. At one point, he told the audience, I got this gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue. Here's a section of his one-liners. When the Globes called me... No, let's just let AI read it. Fuck it.
When the Globes called me and asked if I wanted to host, I jumped at the chance. Then they asked me if I saw the movies and TV shows, and I said yes. I lied.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. Could you just say, when the Globes called me to ask me to host, I jumped at the chance to lie, like everyone else does in here. No, does that hit better or not? It doesn't. That's a bit flat too. When the Golden Globes called me to host, I'm not gonna lie, I assumed they meant to serve drinks. Because, you know, most of the people in here that are serving you drinks kind of look like me. You know, something on those, like some sort of like, oh look, all the help is fucking Filipino or something joke. That could have worked maybe, right? When they asked me to host, I thought they meant like, you know, holding a plate full of fucking champagne or something. I don't know, but it's just not like, can you imagine you have writers that would make this joke? That's the thing that's surprising to me. They had 10 days and a writers came up with this joke. 10 days and more humans like another one.
The minute I signed the contract, I started to binge watch everything, while my family were out there clanking champagne glasses and ringing in the new year. I was watching Oppenheimer. I just have one complaint. It needed another hour.
That's so dated too, isn't it? I feel like Oppenheimer, like how long the movie jokes are, too dated. Another one.
Oppenheimer answered a question that's been on my mind for years. Yes, scientists who get laid, as long as they look like Cillian Murphy.
Another one. Oh, we heard that one already. Oh, okay, this is a Succession one.
Succession has 9 nominations. A great series about a rich, white dysfunctional family, all scheming. Oh no, that's The Crown. Sorry.
Yeah, to be fair, all the the racial joke things are just a bit dead, isn't it? Like, you know, it's like white people bad, immigrant people work hard. My mum sounds like this, like it's like, come on, bro, really? Is this a joke you're gonna do? Like, another one.
How great was Imelda Staunton in The Crown? Her portrayal was so great. Prince Harry called her and asked her for money.
Boo. Boo. Anyway, Joy Coy fucking fell flat. Feel sorry for him. But yeah, he follows a long line of stand-up comedians who, when they get given a shot at actually presenting one of these shows, right? These big fucking shows, they always fall fucking flat. Look at this other one, article from Atlantic. It's actually really funny how often this happens to big LA stand-up comedians with podcasts and shit who think they're really funny. They get on the big stage and they fucking flop. What was Joy Coy thinking? Jesus Christ. He's getting destroyed everywhere. Here are some of the things I saw while running into last night's Golden Globes that made me laugh harder than anything the ceremony host, the comedian Joy Coy, said on stage. This video of Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy looking lost on a red carpet, the moment the bear star Ayo Idiberi remembered to acknowledge her real family also after thanking her castmates this tweet. Which is to say, well, Coy bombed. His opening monologue began poorly. We have dreamt of this moment, he declared, enthusiastically to silent apparent disagreement, and only got worse. Like any award show host, Coy shouted out individual nominees, but practically every joke failed to land, mostly because the punchlines were dated or obvious. He poked fun at the eventual Best Drama winner Oppenheimer 3-hour runtime, claiming that it would finish in 2025. For Barbie, which later won the new prize in the cinematic universe, he admitted that he didn't know the expected movie to be a plastic doll with big boobs. He made a quip about Meryl Streep winning all the time, who hasn't, and then apropos of nothing, asked her Wakanda Forever pose from the Black Panther. Did he do that? I didn't see that. He then made a quip about Meryl Streep, and apropos of nothing, he asked her to do the Wakanda Forever pose. Oh, that's actually quite funny. He asked Meryl Streep to do the Wakanda Forever pose. Oh, I don't have the rest of it. That's fucking hilarious. Honestly, hold on. Let me see if what's it? It's Hawkeye IS. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious if true. Oh. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can read it here in full. Oh, big up Joy Coy. I feel for you, mate. Another one. By the end of the set, Coy sounded indignant, seemingly picking up on how little the crowd was vibing on his comedy. He says, yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. I wrote some of these and they're the ones that you're laughing at. Hosting a Hollywood award show isn't always a disaster, but Coy's dreadful performance proved the thanklessness of the job. And given his last hiring, he was especially unsuited for the task. But the night continued, and Coy dispensed with the gags as he introduced presenters. His diminished time on stage demonstrated just how unnecessary hosts are. Consider the few benefits of stepping on stage before an audience of mostly famous people on track to win a prestigious award. Sure, the exposure and however much of a host gets paid for the gig, but the MC never walks away with a trophy. Rather, such an entertainer must toe the fine line between sucking up to those being feted, or being the kind of ribbing that will get you enough laughter to register on telecast. This is untrue. Just do the fucking Ricky Gervais shit and just shit on him. This guy doesn't like comedy, but I think it's really funny when you actually go on stage and you're the host and you rip into them. Like, you call out the hypocrisy of it, you make fun of it, like you actually trash them. That's actually way funnier, because it's like you're not even performing for the room, you're performing for the people watching on TV. That's actually way funnier. Like, you don't care about what the people inside the room think. You're not trying to be there. Because I felt like a little bit of that set felt a little bit like Joy Coy was trying to be their friend. He wanted them to like him, but actually performing for the TV audience might have done him better, you know, just ripping into them and kind of calling out the nonsense of this whole affair. You know, I'm surprised that he didn't do some jokes about, here we are in this fucking gala and, you know, kids are getting blown up, like some sort of like Gaza, you know, look at the hypocrisy of this sort of shit, you know, how important is this award when some kid's arm is getting blown off, you know what I mean, in a fucking high school somewhere. Those type of, you know, observations and jokes would actually run really well, as opposed to all this sort of shit, you know? And then there's a humor. A host also has like a stand-up comedy. Like Coy doesn't normally deliver a set that's close to their usual style. They must compromise their comedy to do the job, because they're talking exclusively about projects and people being honored. These are exceptions. Gerald Carmichael at last year's Golden Globes came to mind because he was more of a to discuss, but more often than not, the host is expected to muse those before him and keep viewers hooked. No, he's not. This person doesn't know comedy. You're not meant to, you know, it's a fucking Golden Globes. These guys are getting already sucked off because of the awards. If anything, actually ripping into them is actually the best way to go. I think this person just doesn't like comedy. It's telling the Globes struggle to land a host until the last minute, more than a week. So no one dropped out. They just struggled to get a host. So maybe it is actually a thankless job. Nobody actually wanted to take the job until a week ago. That's fucking wild. It's telling that the Globe struggled to land a host until a little more than a week ago, that other shows have gone back to the same host over and over again. The Oscars, despite trying a few years, Sans host will be emceed by Jimmy Kimmel for the 4th time in March. The Grammys will be fine Trevor Noah on stage, and that's for the 4th time later this month, blah, 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 blah. In many ways, Joy Coy was doomed to fail. As a comic who doesn't anchor a late night show, he's not the face or the name most viewers recognize, and making an excellent first impression on those watching at home and before the room. He's never emceed and makes an intimidating challenge. Okay. To be fair, I'm not surprised it went bad, to be honest. Like I said, I'm surprised he even got the gig. I'm not going to lie. He's not that famous, to be honest. Perhaps the biggest mistake Coy was accepting such an irrelevant job in the first place. I want to bring my style to the Globes, he said. Of course, I'm going to have fun, but most importantly, I want to make sure everyone's happy. As Coy learned on Sunday, that's impossible to do at an award show unless you're a trophy. Yeah, fucking hell. Fucking hell. Joy Coy got fucking skewered. Absolutely skewered. Hilarious to see, to be fair. Hilarious. It's going to take a while for him to recover from that one, I'm sure. It's going to take a while for him to fucking recover from that one. But hey, you know, that's the game you play, bro. That's the game you play, boy. People are saying Gringo Pappy was better. Nah, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. Plus, that was 10 minutes. How long did Brendan work on Gringo Pappy? Like 3 years. Anyway, moving on. Do you guys see this? Look at this news. Oh, sorry. Bloody hell. Congratulations to Francis Ngannou. Anthony Joshua to face Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in March as fight is confirmed. So Francis has beaten all the odds. He's proved all the naysayers wrong. When he left the UFC, they said he wouldn't be able to make it without the UFC. He didn't know what he was doing. This big black African man that didn't speak English. What was he doing? Blah, 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 blah. Look at him. He's proved everyone wrong. He basically beat Tyson Fury. He got fucking robbed for that and absolutely displayed that he has great boxing skills. And now he's secured a fight against fucking Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia in March. Amazing. Courtesy of Sky Sports News, former and unified heavyweight champion Joshua is expected to face Ngannou, a former UFC champion, after the planned fight was announced by promotional team Matchroom and Queensberry on Friday night. A press conference has been scheduled for January 15th to reveal more details, a report suggesting that Joshua will face Ngannou on Friday, March 8th in Riyadh. Deontay Wilder could feature on the same bill despite his points loss to Joseph Parker in December, which ended hopes of American fighting Joshua on that day. Yeah, so it was meant to be Deontay Wilder facing Joshua, which, you know, according to his previous performance, Joshua would have probably beaten him. But now, because Wilder lost, they're moving on and jumping onto the fucking Francis Ngannou train. Obviously, that's amazing. So I'd love to see it. You know what this reminded me of? You know what this amazing news? Do you know what this amazing news of Anthony Joshua facing fucking Francis Ngannou, do you know what it reminded me of? Bitch, you guessed it, Brendan Schaub hating. Do you guys remember Brendan Schaub hating? Brendan Schaub hating Francis Ngannou not signing on with the UFC and not signing on with fucking, what's his fucking team people he likes? One Championship or something, right? He was hating on the fact that Francis Ngannou bet on himself and left the UFC and didn't sign that shitty deal. And then he was angry or upset that Francis Ngannou didn't take the first deal that came across his table, and he started trashing him for it. But you remember when he started flip-flopping? So look at this flip-flop. I remember I put this on my actual channel, this video. Look at this video when he flip-flops, right? Look at these clips of Brendan flip-flopping on his view on fucking Francis. Come on, play, bro. Play. Ah, blockbuster.
One championship goes, we believe in mixed martial arts. We believe in martial arts in general. So Francis will have an opportunity to A, fight for a world championship in mixed martial arts, and B, we're open to him fighting boxing. He boxed first. That was his caveat with UFC. Well, I want to box first and then fight in UFC. And UFC went, absolutely not. One championship say, cool, we'll let you do that. We'll be part of that. We'll be part of the marketing of that. We'll do all that for you. Now, what's he going to do? It's not good, man. And I don't know who needs to get in Francis here. Nobody needs you. Mixed martial arts across the board, boxing across the board will be just fine. Nobody's bigger than the game. Nobody. The closest person we've ever had that was bigger than the game is Conor McGregor. He has a little more leverage than Francis, right? So for Francis, like, I don't know who you're listening to, man, but this is not going well. This has been a fucking disaster. What Francis is doing is leading the way for other fighters that are stuck, that feel like they have no voice, that feel like the UFC is the only show in town, even if they're mistreated.
Look at the flip-flop. Look at the flip-flop. Well, as soon as Tyson Fury fight gets confirmed, look at the flip-flop.
What Francis is doing is he's taking the hits for them, going, no. Look, there is a way to do this. There's another route you can go. Shout out to his agent, you know, who took all, Markel took all this shit. What are you doing? You're ruining his career. What's up now? You know, They made the right decision. They crawled through some, like Andy Dufresne. They came out on the other side. Now they're fighting Tyson Fury. It takes cojones, dude.
Yeah, you're
imagine the shit he went through. Remember the taxi guy?
You got the hate. You were the hater. You were the hater. You were the shit.
Oh, it must feel good. They knew what they were doing. Shout out to Markel, man. You did it, brother. Proud of you, man.
Disgusting.
And Francis, my God, dude. This is insane. Yuck. This is history, dude.
Yuck. But it doesn't end there. Look at this clip. From when Francis is leaving the UFC. Listen to how Brendan speaks about Francis Ngannou. Listen to how he speaks about him.
UFC did get another black eye. Again, no pun intended.
Yo, when Brendan was drinking, again, I didn't notice at the time, but God almighty, bro. He looked hungover every single day. The puffiness was crazy. His skin's already terrible anyway. He clearly looks like somebody, I think he doesn't even bother using moisturizer. I think he's one of those guys that doesn't believe in moisturizer, but even though he doesn't believe in moisturizer, just his puffiness of his face is just, yo, he was a real alcoholic. He went for a real alcoholic arc, you know? Unnecessary. Let's continue.
Because the news was out. We've all been waiting for a Francis John Jones fight. And then some poor fella at T-Mobile was like, John Jones, Cyril gone? I'll get it up. They're like, no, we didn't say that. He's like, you said that? Cool, I'll do it now. And then he didn't have a job today because he leaked the news before the UFC. And if we learned anything from the Ariel Helwani situation, when you leak news, when they don't want you to leak the news, there's nothing the UFC hates most. They want to control the narrative at all times. This poor worker at T-Mobile Arena didn't get the memo, and he blasted all over, and and he got out. And when it came out, my team was like, "Hey, look, Francis, Cyril gone," but
my team. When it came out, my team. Honestly, people that use these sort of like grandiose words to make themselves appear more professional always really cringe me out and gross me out. I'm heading to the studio. What do you mean your second room in your house? I'm going to the office. What do you mean your fucking garage? I was talking to the board. What you mean your best friend on WhatsApp? My team. Who's your team? Who? Chin? In the group chat. Chin texts you in the group chat. My team hit me up. Team? Huh?
They say it's not real. This could be fake. Someone's just trolling the UFC. I went, hold on. If it's on the T-Mobile banner and it's out there, I will guarantee you this is the fight. Nobody makes that mistake. And there's no way they're signing Francis either. Fast forward about 8 hours later, boom, it becomes official. And then the news Francis decided not to sign with the UFC gets released.
Brendan Schaub, the insider. Brendan Schaub, the one guy who Dana White has made it very clear he hates. He doesn't have an invite to go to fucking, live UFC events. I think he knows himself if he went there and Dana knew he was there, Dana's so petty, he would actually get him escorted out of the building. I'm sure he would. Dana's such a piece of shit like that, and he hates so hard, and he holds grudges and never forgives, really, unless you go to him with your cap in hand. I'm sure if Brendan did turn up to a live UFC event, Dana would get him escorted out of that fucking, arena, that venue. So the fact that he talks about UFC stuff with just certainty, as if he knows anything going on, it's like, bro, you don't fight, you don't train, you don't roll, you don't do anything that involves fighting anymore. You just talk about shit that you read on the internet, but then he acts like he's plugged into everything and everybody. It's like, come on, Brendan, man. Come on.
Here's what I know on Francis Ngannou. As soon as I heard the news, it bummed me out. I want Francis in the UFC for a variety of reasons. But B, I'm really close with Francis's agent, Markel. When I say,
imagine him being close to Francis's agent, but he speaks about Francis the way he speaks about him. Something doesn't add up. And this to me is another, again, my theory is my theory, and I'm probably chalking out my ass, but I honestly think this guy has an issue with black people. I think there's something there. Maybe it's one of his, unaddressed past, childhood traumas. Like I mentioned mine about, those kids that basically didn't want to be my friends anymore, which might be the reason why I don't have any real friends when I'm an adult and I kind of steer away from getting close to people. Maybe Brendan has something like that in his, in his childhood, where maybe he, thinks, his football career didn't take off the way it did because of some really athletic black dudes who took his spot or something like that. Maybe there's something in there, or maybe some black dude in college fucked his girlfriend or something. But there's definitely something there. It's definitely something about him with black guys that he just has a weird sort of vibe with, and how he talks about it. Because the way he talks about Francis here, even though he's meant to be friends with Francis's manager, I think he might be Francis's ex-manager now, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Say close, I've known for probably 8 years. 8 years. We'll text during big fights. We'll text with Francis news. I was not aware that he doesn't work with Francis anymore and hasn't for a few months. So
I'm really close with Francis's manager. I had no idea he doesn't work with Francis. It's like, what? I thought you were close to him though. Exactly, Koila. Talk to him every day. He's my we go way back. But you didn't know he didn't work with Francis. You talk all the time about Francis on text, but you didn't know he worked with him. He did not work with him anymore. Make it make sense.
So when I heard the Francis news, I just texted him, what happened? He goes, beats me, I don't work with him anymore. I'm like, excuse me? I said, well, who negotiated the deal? How did this not get done? He goes, Francis represented himself. I sent the emoji of a hand go like this. Ugh. I like that Francis.
Describing the emoji that he used and then just sounding it out without just saying, I used the palm to face emoji is such a sign of his redactedness. That's how you know he's a little bit like slow. He had to sound out and motion the emoji for you to get what he meant. He couldn't just say, I sent the palm to face emoji and just shook my head. Like, he had to like, let's do it one more time. That was fucking hilarious.
The emoji of a hand go like this. Ugh. I like that Francis wants to bet on himself to get a deal done. I would consider myself kind of a smart dude, not the smartest in the room ever, any room I walk into, but I know a few things about a few things, you know, when it comes to business. In regards to UFC fighters, I've done a pretty good job outside the UFC. I've been in those
I'm not
negotiating rooms.
This guy is, that's what you need to be successful. I've told you before plenty of times on this stream, guys. I honestly do think if you want to be a success in your life, you need a little bit of like, you need a little bit, is it undeserving? You need a little bit of delusional confidence. You need to be just delusional flat out. You need to have delusions of grandeur. That's what you need. You need to have such a high opinion of yourself that the more you say how much of a beast you are, just because you say it confidently, people are forced to agree or comply with what you say. That's what you basically need to do. Having like contrition, being humble, whatever, right? All that shit, that's not going to get you far. Actually getting you far is faking it till you make it and believing what you say. Like, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I've done a pretty good job of my career post UFC. I'm basically the most successful UFC fighter post UFC ever in the history of the UFC. My career should be studied. My career should be, you know, a curriculum at fucking Harvard or something. People should analyze how I've been able to go from being a beast of a fucking UFC fighter to a beast of, like, that kind of confidence. That's what you need to be successful in life.
I have 2 college degrees. Francis is
How does Brendan have 2 college degrees? How? The American school system is crazy. How the fuck does this guy have 2 college degrees? He can barely spell his own name. There's proof of it. There's proof of him giving out the fucking discount code for something, or he's advertising on his fucking show, and he can't spell Schaub. He can't even spell his own name. SHAB or something. I think he said it as a code thing. It's like, bro, you can't spell your own name. Wow. 2 college degrees, yeah? Cool. Business shark, yeah? Cool.
First language isn't even English, and he has no business degree. I'm telling you, they will eat you alive in there. I've been in that room. I thought I could handle it. Trust me. Of course it didn't go well. Of course it didn't do well. They have all the chips. They know every single angle you're going to come from, and they're ready for it, dude. I wish I would.
Xenophobic Papa. I love it. Xenophobic Papa. Xenophobic and racist Papa is fucking great. He can't even speak English. The irony is, Francis speaks better English than Brendan. That's the irony. The irony is, Francis Ngannou learned to speak English in his late 20s, and he actually speaks English better than Brendan. That's the funny thing about it.
Would have gotten his ear, like, whoa. Even if you don't sign with a lawyer, hire the lawyer on an hourly basis, have them in there with you so you know the language of what they're telling you. It's not so much that, hey, we're going to pay you more than we paid Brock Lesnar, yes or no. It doesn't work like that. It's confusing. They're telling you all these angles. They'll bring up this stuff, this thing. You're dealing with a lot. A fighter at this point should not be representing themselves. Everyone goes, well, Sugar Sean does, or this guy does. I get it. It's a little different here when you're talking about championship level fighters.
When you talk about white people, right? It's a bit different when you're talking about white people. That's what he meant to say. Sugar Sean does it, yeah, but he's white, so it's right. White is right. So that's fine. White is right.
Especially when talking about Francis Ngannou, who's currently was the heavyweight champion of the world. It's just not the smartest route to go. So I heard that. I thought, of course, the deal didn't get done.
So that's Brendan hating on fucking Francis. More Brendan videos hating on Francis, please. We need more.
But obviously, the main event, you have freaking Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. If you're one of those people that are like, Tyson Fury is just going to outclass him, this is stupid, I'm not going to pay for this, I get all that. But the one thing that makes this different than a Conor versus
it's so choppy, bro. What's going on with my computer today? Everything is really fucking choppy, isn't it? What's happening? Maybe I'll put the bitrate down. It's so fucking choppy. I get it.
Logan Paul versus Floyd is Francis Ngannou. If Tyson Fury,
yo,
for
big
whatever,
up Scott. Appreciate you, Scott.
Bobby really wanted him in UFC to fight John Africa.
Exactly. John Africa. Yeah, I still love that name, honestly, man. You'll never live that down. But big up Scott, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the super chat.
for reason, decides to take his eye off the prize, if he takes 1 nanosecond off in that fight, and Francis happens to land a left hook, an uppercut, a right hand, whatever it is, that fight is over. That's why you're paying for this fight. Is he going to outbox Tyson Fury? Not a chance. But is there a
famous words, isn't it, right? And if you watched the fight, you would have known. Guess what Francis did? He outboxed Tyson Fury.
possibility at a plus 700 he can land an uppercut, a left hook, a right hand in a frenzy? There's a chance, and I want to be part of that. I'm gonna be watching it. Francis is that damn talented. He can hit. If I'm his coach, I'm going caution the wind. We're not training any technique. You're gonna freaking Homer Simpson this thing, run at him like you did against Rosenstruck. Do that. We're not gonna try and be cute and sit back and pick this dude.
So he never really rated Francis, isn't it? He's almost diminishing Francis, demolishing Rosenstruck. He's basically saying that was a lucky win. He just kind of, just ran at him. It's like, so there's no skill to what he does, no technique to what he does, nothing to be credited for. It's just him being like a big black dude that hits hard. That's all it is. There's no skill whatsoever with Francis.
Forget your jab. Forget what we're doing on the pads. This is a street fight. If you sit back and you try to outbox Tyson Fury, he's going to change your life, and it's not going to be good. If this thing goes the distance, you will never fight the same ever again. He's going to box your brains in. We don't want that. Go out on your shield. In order to win.
The irony, man, of what actually happened in the fight is fucking incredible. I find it also interesting, Brendan being a former fighter and just being so, not good at predicting fights. Like, there are guys on YouTube, there's guys on Twitter and social media in general who predict fights way better than Brendan. Like, regular dudes who are able to predict fights better than him. I find that really funny, innit?
Francis has to get this done with pure chaos in 2 rounds. If this thing goes past 2 rounds, it's going to get dicey and it's going to get ugly. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight to ever put on those 10-ounce gloves. I'll take all your debates. Who you want? Evander? Bring it. Tyson? Bring it. Who else you got? Bring it. Lennox Lewis? George Foreman? Whatever. He's the best to ever do it. He can go.
Saying Tyson Fury is better than Lennox Lewis is a very casual boxing opinion, I think, in my personal opinion. But hey, what do I know?
Go forwards, he can go backwards, he can power shot.
And it's also a bit of recency bias in there too. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just because you watch Tyson Fury nowadays, you just completely forgot about, the fucking amazing performances that fucking Lennox Lewis put on the fight and the caliber of people he was fighting to. It's like, come on, bro. Come on. I know Tyson Fury is good, but let's not dismiss what fucking Lennox Lewis did in that ring.
He can outclash it. He can do it all. We've never had anybody like that. Francis Ngannou's team knows this.
Yeah, Zaki Koila, or even Zaki Koila, even George Foreman, exactly.
Caution the win, make it a straight up after school fight. That's what he has to do. Doesn't he get dirty? No, none of those antics. No, the grappling. You're not grappling anyway. No. You just got to land one shot, and you got to do it in the first 2 rounds. Otherwise, your life is going to change forever.
It's just so bad. It's like,
that's scary.
That's how hard he hit.
How could you be a former UFC fighter, top 15 heavyweight? You trained, you did jiu-jitsu, you got a black belt, and be so terrible at like breaking down fights or predicting fights and shit. Like, he's just so, like, this is like such a casual opinion on shit. Like, no real insights, no interesting hot takes or approaches. Just, this is probably even worse than casual. Maybe it's even doing a disservice to people who out there who are casual fans, because like his opinions are just so terrible.
Mm-hmm. That's how hard Francis hits, and I'll take that. All right, is that it?
Almost. Real quick though, would you, if you were Francis, would you go out literally right away, or just kind of feel out first and then go crazy?
I'm literally ding ding. How much did I make? Now, but if one of those lands, we're going so sizzler. We're changing the game for it's the biggest upset in sports combat history. You're going so sizzler, and you get the rematch no matter what. The only guy that loses if Fury gets knocked out is a man named Usyk. Because then you gotta fight him, and he just got knocked out. It's gonna be a disaster. That fight goes to the garbage. Dude, if Francis wins, biggest upset in combat sports history. Yeah. A guy who's never boxed professionally knocks out the perennial, undefeated.
Where did he learn that word?
Undisputed.
Anyway, whatever. You heard him hating. He was hating for years. More hating videos of him.
Dana and Francis, the only way the Francis deal works out for him, not PFL, that's a different story. The only way it works out for Francis if he gets that big boxing fight. From that tweet, sounds like it ain't happening.
Seems like it.
Anthony Josh was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And also, Tyson has so much going on in the boxing world. As far as the Usyk fight is really what boxing wants to make. You have Usyk, you have Deontay Wilder there, you have Indy Ruiz, who I don't know if that's any current events. His girlfriend hacked his Twitter and it got weird.
No.
Oh, it got weird. You can look that up. It got weird. But so Francis needs to complete so many things in boxing. It'd be weird. I guess he could do it in the meantime till they figure out the Usyk stuff. But when I see that from Francis, I'm like, oh shit, man, nobody's biting. That sucks, dude. Because remember, we thought for sure that was going to happen. And I think Francis was so sure that was going to happen. That's one of the reasons he was so kind of confident leaving the UFC. Because if someone, I guarantee if someone came to him and said, while he was going through negotiations with the UFC, went, hey, just so you know, Tyson thing's never happening, dude. We spoke to Tyson. He said it was fun back and forth. He didn't think this was actually going to happen. He's more focused on Usyk and his sport. That's never going to happen, dude. Maybe Deontay Wilder down the road, you're talking 2-3 years from now, that's slight, probably 5% chance. But as you're going into negotiations with Dana, just know, boxing's never happening.
He's such a hater, isn't it? I think Brendan is a bigger hater than the biggest poster on the Fire and the Kid subreddit. Brendan's the biggest hater on earth. Way more than any of the posters on the Fire and the Kid subreddit. Whoever the biggest one is on there, this guy hates more. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Negotiations with Dana, just know, boxing's never happening. I would be willing to bet he would sign with UFC. The only reason is with PFL is because they're allowing him to box. Boxing's the biggest mystery in all this. That's probably not going to happen, which I fucking hate saying that.
Yeah, hopefully it does, though, for Francis.
Yeah, I hope it happens for him, man. That would be a huge win for Francis.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't hope that at all. You don't hope that at all. Oh, fucking brilliant. I love the hate. I love how much he hates because he can't help it. It comes through. It seeps through his pores. He fucking loves it. He really fucking does. Let's do this one again. One last one. This is a brilliant one. It's sure before and after Francis and Stipe too, right? There's another one. Classic hate from Brendan. Again, I don't know what it is about big black dudes that he hates, but there's definitely something there.
So this narrative of Francis, completely different fighter, he's so much better. Yeah? How so? Yeah?
So
in which way?
Obnoxious. Look how obnoxious and smug.
Well, you know, I think mentally he's stronger. He's working on his wrestling and he's a better fighter. Yeah? Which fight proved that? Because the longest fight he's had since the horrible outing of Derek Lewis, which is 15 minutes of complete shit. He's gone. The longest he's gone is 1:11. Where are you getting your facts from? In what sense has he gotten better? In what sense do you think it's going to be a different Francis against Stipe? Well, his wrestling's a lot better, his mentality. Oh, yeah? In what way? I'd love to see it. Well, they say in doesn't count.
And there he is.
Well, they say,
Stipe.
you know, he's at Extreme Couture, he's in Vegas. I don't give a flying fuck how his training's going. I go based off what happens when the lights are on, the camera's on, and fans are watching, and Scrooge McDuck's in cage side, and there's 3 judges, and there's a referee. I'm going based off that. I'm going based off real game time. And in real game time, there is no evidence he is any different. If anything, he looked worse his last outing against Rosenstruck. Champion mindset and that champion heart will beat Francis 100 out of 100 times. Because when the going gets tough, my money's on Stipe. I'm just not willing to jump on the Francis train saying he's this completely different fighter.
He knocked him out in the second round, right? And this is Stipe. You heavy on Stipe.
I had Francis winning.
You had Francis winning.
I like Stipe.
You like Stipe?
The lie. That's why Malik got thrown off the podcast, isn't it? He used to remind Brendan about his fight picks and kind of, you know, rag him on it. And Brendan doesn't like that. That's why he got kicked off the pod. Brendan doesn't like people reminding him of the mistakes he does.
You say he's durable, but the fact that he just
Interesting looking dude. Interesting looking dude. Oh, that was fucking brilliant. I fucking love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Chappelle looking like don't go make Massa angry. Exactly, Coiler. Chappelle being a good boy. Being a very, very, very good boy. Oh, mate. Brilliant. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Oh. Anyways, I'm sure most of you guys have seen this clip. I'm sure most of you have seen this clip. But I find this clip absolutely fascinating because this is a sneak peek into the mind of a stand-up comedian and the way they view themselves and how they navigate through the world and the impact they have on people. And I really want to say that I think we all could use a little bit of crazy confidence, a little bit of incredibly unself-aware tendencies that comics, stand-up comedians have. We need a bit of that. I think whatever walk of life you live in, you know, whatever that fucking term is, whatever job you have, wherever you are in the world, you need a bit of this confidence because this is insane. This is insane. Listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we say, you know, in the comedy world, we say we're the last line of defense because this is where the woke meets the wall. The woke meets the wall with stand-up comedy.
What? One more time.
Yeah, we say, you know, in the comedy world, we say we're the last line of defense because this is where the woke meets the wall. The woke meets the wall with stand-up comedy.
To be fair, I'm not surprised. You know, I'm an up-and-coming underground bedroom DJ, right? But in the DJ world, DJs, for the most part, especially professional ones, they have a crazy sense of self-confidence. There's DJs out there that honestly think they could stop the war in Gaza they could stop the war in Ukraine with a DJ set. They think all it takes is a party, is a rave to heal all of the issues going on around the world. That's all they actually think. They think fucking music and raves will save the world. And I think stand-up comedians are the same. They honestly think their shitty dick jokes, their jokes about COVID, their jokes about Trump, their jokes about cancel culture, their jokes about, culture war stuff, their jokes about woke stuff, their jokes about LGBTQ people, their jokes about reproductive rights, their jokes about whatever will actually heal the world and bring peace upon, bring peace and prosperity upon everybody. Like, they honestly think that. They really think in their hearts of hearts that all it takes is a good stand-up set to heal the fucking world. The same thing with DJs. Exactly, Space Guy. Last night, a DJ saved my life. An absolute tune, by the way. But that's what they honestly think. They think DJs think they can save the world with tunes, with music they don't even make, right? Playing in fucking nightclubs. They think all it takes is a good DJ set to heal the world. And for sure, comedians have this outsized confidence. Like, I think even he referred to themselves as they're like comedy marines. What was fucking Joe Rogan's first group of comics called? The Deaf Club, innit, right? Or the Deaf, what's it called? The Deaf Suit, the Deaf Click, Deaf Note. What the fuck was it? No, it's as anime. What was it called again? Deaf something, innit? He could, like, as if they were like some sort of assassins or something, like comedic assassins, right? They're killers on stage, get it? We got death in our name because we kill, we slay the mic. Right, the mic is our weapon. Right? Or was it Death Squad? Sorry, yeah, call it Death Squad. Death Squad rolled around with the fucking Death Squad, Marines of only 1,000 true comics in the world. And I find it funny how the true 1,000 comedians are always like majority white guys that all Joe knows. They're not like internationally based people. They're all just majority middle-aged white men. That's the best comics in the world. What happened to all the other comics in the world? What happened to the world comics? Like, the guy in fucking Germany killing it. What happened to the girl in fucking Vietnam killing it? What happened to them? They don't matter, no? It's only if you speak American English. That's when you count, and that's when you're fucking part of the 1,000. Absolutely egregious and crazy. One more time, though, because I fucking love this. We're the last line of defense. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we say, in the comedy world, we say we're the last line of defense.
You say, you mean.
Because this is where the woke meets the wall. The woke meets the wall with stand-up comedy.
The last line of defense, like, honestly, man. It's like NATO comedy forces is crazy. The clip of Rogan smashing the stool legit cracks me up so much, exactly. I have an OG Def Squad shirt so old it has holes in its armpits, lols. Joe sounds so stupid because he doesn't understand artists can't also be the critic, exactly. Bloody hell, mate. Def Squad, 1,000 strong. 1,000 strong comics holding it down. Defending everybody, right? That's what they're allegedly doing. Defending everybody, holding everybody down. Let's play another one. We did that. Let's do another one. Yeah, let's do this one. What do you think about this, guys? What do you think about this? For all my Caucasian people in the stream chat, is this normal? Is this like white guy jokes? Am I being a little bit of a prude? Am I being a little bit of a, what you call it? Am I being a bit of a bunch of sticks or something? Or is this perfectly normal? Because this sounds very sus to me. This sounds incredibly sus, but I want my white brethren and my white sisters in the chat to let me know if this is normal, because this sounds very odd to me.
Every time when we work out, and I always shower. If there's a nice gym shower, I always shower. Yeah. Jay doesn't like to because he doesn't, he's not as comfortable in his skin as me.
Yeah.
Big old dick.
Yep.
I want everyone to know.
He's got a dick.
So we'll be in the shower, hey, get the hoggy out. And be like, shut up, and have a towel on, and I'll rip the towel off. Like, hog alert, and slap his dick.
Hog alert.
And I purposely, and you can shower other places, but I purposely showered there because I knew these old
dudes would be staring at Jay's Grand Hagoso. And so we're
Grand
showering.
Hagoso.
Grand Hagoso.
Your Grand Hagoso. Dude, if you
Hagoso.
got a real piece,
Grand Hagoso?
it's called a Grand Hagoso.
Look how happy that makes Brian. Is that normal? Like playing with your brother's dick as a joke. Maybe when you're kids, there's something, maybe, I don't know, it still sounds odd. But as grown adults, playing with your brother's dick when you're in the gym together. Watching your brother showering. Then playing with, like, what? Is that not weird? Or am I just being a little bit OTT? Or am I blowing this out of proportion? Who does this? Maybe the only joke that I understand is maybe ripping the towel off. I think we used to do it back in the day, you know, in PE and stuff, right? When you're doing fucking, I guess maybe you call it sports recreation, maybe in the States, I don't know, but here it's called PE, right? Physical education. Maybe that's funny, but like going then the extra mile to touch the person's dick, you might as well just start sucking him off, right? Because you're just looking for an excuse anyway. You're already testing the waters. You're not too sure which way you swing. You might as well just get down and just go to town, really. You know, fucking pull out the Glock 3000 and just Glock away.
It's called a Hagoso.
Hey.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Hopefully Jay Sharp gets his hoggy out in the pool.
Well, listen, he won't. He's
It's
very.
tough
I try to
doing.
poke at his hoggy, and he won't let me.
It's thick. It's like an elephant trunk. You poke at it.
And it's
ashy.
It's black.
Ashy. He has a black dick.
Very dark penis. The skin on his cock is dark. I'm serious.
He never gets it out.
No, he never gets
Last
it out.
time I
have it
saw
out all
it
the
was
time. if I have that.
2001. Tears like yours. See ya.
Remembering the last time you saw your brother's dick or the last time you held it in your hands to the year. God damn.
And his dong, we've talked about this. But
Fattest dick in this room.
I got
Fattest
a
dick in
real
this
sense
room.
of what is. I took his dong in. I got a chance to really take my time with
He's
it.
Grand Hagoso.
He's got a fucking Hagoso that dwarfs both of ours.
Yeah, no, it's
very impressive.
thick.
It's thick.
Well, he's the Grand Hagoso.
And it hangs with an.
Imagine being a fan of this podcast and listening to it every single week and hearing these guys talk about dick so often. I get super self-conscious when I'm on my Taz show, right? The Agostinho Zinga show. You can find it available on all podcast platforms. I get super self-conscious when I sit there and start rambling about Balenciaga and Berghain and Nike shoes and this fashion beef and whatnot and this DJ fucking gossip. I get self-conscious when I because I feel like I've only got like 5 or 6 topics that I usually basically recycle, and it's like, ugh. But these guys literally verbatim every other episode talk about exactly the same thing. Some sort of dick joke, some sort of fucking human phallus, male phallus joke. That's what is always included here. Always something relating to that. It's like, come on, man. Not every day is fucking penis day.
Intention. It hangs with bad intention.
Bro, that's my brother. You saw my brother's Hagoso.
Oh!
I caught him slipping in the shower.
I'm telling you.
I went, Brian, get out here. You got to see this thing. Jay's going, no.
He's trying to get his underwear up, and I run out completely naked of the shower. I crane. I mongo.
Look at the teeth. Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. Brendan could probably spare some of that money he used to buy that lime green Dodge, and let fucking Big J Schaub get a Invisalign or something, man. Help a brother out. Instead of flying him all the way to Vegas and stand awkwardly while you buy things. That, you know what I was thinking as well? That Brendan standing there, that Brendan inviting his brother to go and just stand and watch him buy things is giving like, do you remember that kid in your school who would invite you to his house before computer games were like online? And he'd invite you over to come watch him play PlayStation, and he was just playing by himself. He only had one controller. That's what it looks like a little bit. I'm thinking about it now. Like, like, hey, come around, I'm playing computer, and then it's like, he just plays, and you have to just sit there and watch him.
Goose my head around. I crane my neck around, and I'm like, and I see it. And
The
let me just
original
say,
golden Hagoso.
Let me say something about his Hagoso for a second. I just want to say this.
Was I lying?
If we did an MRI and I saw that it had lungs and an elbow.
Some joints
I
up in there?
would not be surprised. That thing was just this giant. Like I felt like maybe I'm exaggerating, but I felt like when I saw it, it went. Ooh, it made a noise.
It is. It is. Oh, I caught him slipping too. It's like I saw Bigfoot. He came out of that shower and went, Brian, quick! I knew Jay was going to try to get his shorts.
He's trying to get him on too.
He said, don't be gay, bro.
He was giggling and falling over as he tried to yank his shirt.
I went, Brian, get in here. And you came, L, busting out shampoo in your hair. I went,
sprinting out.
Yo!
Yep. There it is. And I got 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and it was gone.
Release the Kraken.
But
I gotta remain mysterious.
Brilliant video by the homeless cats. Appreciate you, but yeah, that is so bizarre. I don't understand that kind of humor. Like touching my dick humor. Like unless you actually want to get me hard, don't touch my dick, you know? Unless you want problems, don't touch me. That's what I'd say to somebody, you know? Like unless you actually want to get down, don't touch me that way. I mean, like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, right? What are we doing here, actually? Not doing here. Let's move on. A little bit of self-deprecation here from
I'm in Austin and
from Brendan, but I feel like this has been planned. I feel like this was written beforehand, or there was some sort of this was written. What do you guys think? It's a little bit different, a little bit new, because he's being self-deprecating, but it feels like this was purposely done.
I'm in Austin end of the month. Austin, I'm in Nashville and Austin. I think it's 27th through 29th. I go Nashville one night, then Austin for 2 nights.
Where you at in Austin?
I'm at Vulcan.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
right across the street.
It's a cool
the stepmothership.
What do you think happened there? The stepmothership joke. Do you think that's something he wrote himself, or do you think that's something somebody wrote for him? And obviously Eric has been like really earning his keep in it. You can tell he's about to have a baby because he laughs at Brendan's jokes like he is fucking Eddie Murphy. He cracks up at Brendan's jokes in a silly way. Way over the top for me personally. Let's play this one again, one more time. Okay, we did that. Should we do this? Yes, this one. Remember this one? This was a brilliant one.
Died.
Sucks, man.
Yeah, it was expected. You know, she had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And probably a year and change ago, almost a year and a half ago, she was diagnosed, right? And so, you know, what are you going to do when you have stage 4? Then that was stage 4 a year and a half ago. Usually they only give you a few weeks.
He's talking about his grandmother-in-law. Yeah, and you know how close most people who aren't from the West, right? Who are not fucking American, who how close they are to their fucking parents or the extended family. So you'd imagine, you know, the grandmother, his wife, would be probably like a big deal in their whole family. But he's like, yeah, whatever.
Weeks to live, and she kept powering through it. I pumped her full of CBD. Not sure if that helped. There's no, research to prove that helps, but I like to think it helped out a little. She kept on asking for it. I'd send it every month.
Beast.
My boy Brady Bell would send it every month to her house in Chicago. And then she passed away last night, but it was expected. Not last night. We thought, probably 2 weeks ago, they're like, oh, it's not looking good. The nurse was like, her body's, I guess the body, even while the person's alive, it gives signs, so she's like, she's in that stage. So, and then we're all getting ready to take the family to lunch yesterday, and my mother-in-law was over, and she gets a call, and we're like headed out the door, and she's like, what? And then, game, set, match. And, Grim Reaper came knocking on the door in Chicago.
Yeah, it's so callous and heartless, isn't it? Game, set, match. Green Reaper came a knocking. It's so fucking funny, man. Grandmother-in-law passes away and it's like the Green Reaper came a knocking. Oh my God, bro.
So they had to fly out to Chicago. Got the kiddo solo. It's chaos when you got two kids, one 4-year-old and one he'll be 9 months in 2 days. In 2 days he'll be 9 months. Thick as shit. It's fun, man. It's chaos, but
Oh, you gotta love Brendan. You gotta love fucking Brendan. He was loving that his fucking great grandmother passed away. He was fucking loving every moment of it. He loved it so much. And obviously we loved it too. What else we got to talk about here? We spoke about most things already, actually. We spoke about most things already. And it's already 3 hours in. And I have to leave, my friends. 3 hours in, I have to love ya and leave ya. Thank you for those of you who've been tuning in. It's game, set, match for the fucking stream. I appreciate all of you who are tuning in, who have been here. It's been a pleasure to have your company. If it's the first time checking out the show, please make sure that you like the show down below. That would be pretty cool if you can like the show down below. Like the stream. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Big up Crash, Coiler, Shades Cow, Brian, Mr. West, Cloud K20, Joseph Jackson. Big up all of you. Big up Stannis. Big up NJ Ranger, my guy. Big up MK. Big up Scott L, Z, all of you man them, all the gal them. Big up Forever My Laughter, all of you. Alex, Max, Alex B, Teju, Eddie D. Appreciate all of you guys for joining. I really do. Jack Donaghy, Junior, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Necropolis, thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see all you guys again soon. Peace.